That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your new kitchen appliances look stunning.
Thanks. We had a blast shopping for them at National Appliance Warehouse. There's over 100 brands in their huge showroom. The best part was knowing everything was at the best price.
You must have done a ton of research.
Oh, we didn't need to. They use a cutting-edge technology called Price Assure. It searches prices online and updates electronic Price Assure tags in real time to make sure theirs is the lowest.
Lower than the big box stores.
Especially them, with much better service, too. And they do it all. Delivery, installation, everything.
National Appliance Warehouse in Wilmington.
Yes, they may not be the closest, but they'll make your wallet the happiest.
Fall into savings on beautiful new kitchen appliances now at National Appliance Warehouse. Save on LG. Get a deluxe stainless steel kitchen suite with French door refrigerator from LG, regularly $43.43 for only $21.99.88 after rebate. That's a budget saving $2,143.12. An incredible package. Preview the savings at nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their easily accessible showroom on 202 in tax-free Wilmington.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Are you waking up soaking wet? Don't worry, you didn't wet the bed. It's sweat, which means your air conditioning probably needs service or needs to be replaced. Summer is still here for a few more months. If you want a company who's been servicing some of the same customers for 3 generations with honest pricing, no gimmicks, and factory-trained technicians, then Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning is for you. Visit us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinecans.com.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands? Done. Groceries? Got. It's a good time for a reward. You know the one. Your favorite tasty cake treat. Is it the delicious crimpet or the mouth-watering candy cake? No matter where you are, choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake. Accept no substitutes.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Thursday, September 21st, the first day of fall. It is indeed Kayal and Company, right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, always live on the free Odyssey app, and of course, streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube as we head until 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Twitter and Instagram at 1210 WPHT. Dawn Stensland with the news. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Torenzo, our associate producers. Loaded show today. Dawn, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great.
Gregory, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm well. I'm holding in my hands
Oh boy, dark.
the Kayal and Company coffee mug. Because it's bigger than your normal mug.
Let me see.
That's
There we go.
Show us your mugs,
There it
baby.
is.
There it is. Very nice.
Mugs up.
Yep.
As we
Mug
get going.
shot.
That's right.
You can actually. I have one of those big thermoses or whatever.
Yetis.
Yes, that I have my coffee in, and you can actually fit most of this coffee in that mug.
That is correct.
Yeah. 1210wphd.com.
Yes, we're pimping the merch already.
The merch store.
That is correct. And speaking of Kayal and Company t-shirts, as we continue this morning, you can now cash in, or actually one man is cashing in, and you can purchase the Fetterman Body Double t-shirt. The Fetterman camp, for all of you out there that says, that doesn't look like Fetterman, he's got a double. Oh, you know what? He's making money now.
Oh, off of that.
Off of those theories.
Great.
Yes.
See, it always goes too far, doesn't it? It always goes too far.
See what all you conspiracy nut jobs did? Now he's making money.
You have an incompetent slob as a senator, and people go too far, and then he looks like the sane one.
Right. And, of course, he won't pay taxes on the T-shirt money he collects because that's what Fettermans do. Also, Joe Biden, another claim, false.
Oh, no.
We have the history chronicled and documented of every time Joe said he's of this race, this religion, went to this church, played at this school. We have it for you.
Wow.
Remarkable stuff. CNN is officially toast. And also, Fauci. Wait till you hear what his net worth is. Dr. Anthony Fauci, much like the rest of the bureaucrats in Washington, they walk in with X, and when they leave, they have 20 times more than what they started with.
It couldn't be. He's a public servant.
I was just going to say that.
That's
all of these freaking public servants have 19 houses and live better than 99.9% of people. How is that?
Yep. I'm eating smart ones. Oh, well. All right, we got a lot of good stuff to get to. The big take this morning featuring something that occurred in Perkiomen Valley School District. But before we get to all of that, let's get to the news. Round number one, and for that, we give you the great Dawn Stensland.
And good morning on this last day of sunshine, full sunshine for a while. We'll have the full forecast in just a moment. This Thursday already. This week flew. Thursday, September 21st. We have so much going on this morning. And in West Philadelphia, I'll take you to West Philadelphia. We have police hearing shots fired from the intersection of Chester Ave in the Concessing neighborhood. They responded within seconds, according to police. There they found a 32-year-old man lying on the ground suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to his abdomen, to his back. He was unresponsive, and they transported the man. This is one of those where they scooped him up, did not wait for an ambulance, seconds counted, rushed him to the hospital, and tragically there, the doctors at the emergency department could not save his life. So they heard the shots just after 9 p.m. Within less than 28 minutes, got him to the hospital. He was pronounced dead. This is West Philadelphia. We have classrooms by the dozens being shut down, and this is going down in Burlington County, New Jersey. So students who affected are in 26 different classrooms. So why are they shutting down in Burlington County, New Jersey? Why are they going to remote learning for at least 2 weeks? The good news, this is not related in any way to COVID.
Okay.
Okay. It's mold.
Mold. Mildew.
No, mold and mildew are not the same.
They're not the same.
They always feel married together. Mold and mildew. Wow.
So, yeah, this is, students at the beginning of the school year. Students at middle schools this is Burlington County, they will have to attend classes remotely. Now, some students from another school will be able to switch buildings because of those same mold problems. So they've been able to come up with some options. Lumberton Middle School goes remote starting today. So they're just finding this out, that the kids, and these are hundreds of kids, will unfortunately not be able to go to school. So we're told, as they look at these inspections, so far the middle school is the one that's affected there.
I'm not sure how the custodial arts and janitor departments will work, but you had a whole summer. We've only been back to school for
that's what I was thinking.
4 weeks. And then when you were closed during the pandemic, when you were shut down those years or those months, you couldn't have figured out where this mold was then?
Mold is not that easy to get rid of, guys.
Yeah, oh, really?
It's not.
The mold expert, Greg Stocker.
No. Sometimes you need to call in,
Yeah.
your normal, everyday, run-the-mill custodians might not be able to get it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Bleach.
Yeah.
Just bleach everything.
Bleach and Brillo pads.
That's right, baby.
Well, sometimes, depending on what kind of mold it is, you might have to, physically remove it. I mean, like, if it's structural, then you have to, then that's a bigger issue.
Oh.
To Greg's point, I did look up if it's that black mold.
Oh.
Which is deadly, right?
Right. But
Okay.
I don't, they're not saying what kind of mold.
Gotcha.
If I'm a parent there, I'm saying what kind of mold
Okay.
are we talking about?
So you're okay with the going virtual for 2 weeks for this then? If
Yeah.
in fact it's that kind of
If it's something like this, Don's fine with it.
Yeah.
COVID,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
But mold, fine.
Mold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
All right.
So,
I'm gonna
pro
do
tip.
a big take tomorrow on mold.
So the Bobby's Run School, that'll be on a 2-hour delay starting today to give teachers time to make the changes. Apparently, you're able to, they're letting the teachers get into the classroom, get any materials they want, and then they have to go back home. So this is why the 2-hour delay. So what a shame for the kids in New Jersey, among the strictest COVID mandates in the country. Started this school year, and we're very excited. And now this. So we don't have any reports of sickness. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Looks like 2 weeks, and they hope to clean that up. A second community meeting was held last night. This is for Chester County residents, and this is following their 2-week nightmare and ordeal. Speaking of shutdowns and shelter in place, this was after the convicted killer, Danilo Cavalcante, escaped from the Chester County prison there. So officials still trying to let residents know everything's going to be safe. Another prison escape is not going to happen again, but nobody believes it. They're upset, and they've said that they want to know why dangerous killers were kept in the prison. They did not realize that this should be a max security prison, and it's not considered that. So why is that? So now they're saying updates as well to the alert system are just one of those immediate changes that residents can expect.
Yeah.
We're watching all of this.
Yeah, I think the updates to the alert system is definitely justified and warranted. But, for the people, and like those people had to live it for 2 weeks, so who am I to sit there and say this? But, the odds of a killer escaping the prison anytime soon again are probably slim to none. So I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I don't feel.
Don't jinx it.
It's not going to happen again. It's like you dying of COVID. It's probably not going to happen. Some people just,
So you're saying there's a possibility.
I'm saying there's a chance.
Well, speaking of that, let's talk about our Phils. We win 6-5 against the Braves in their house. And Nick, another Nick, not our own Nick Kayal, I'm talking about Nick Castellanos. His teammates, though, they did not want him to catch it. Don't catch it, Nick. Don't do that, Nick. What'd you do, Nick? And neither did his manager. Nope, Rob Thompson. Nick, he's not going to do it. Don't catch it. Don't catch it. Don't catch it. Ah, he did it.
Mm-hmm.
So Phillies right fielder thought about dropping the fly ball as it sailed toward him in foul territory. Everybody was thinking, don't do it. Don't do it. But he did it.
Let's also not forget that they had a 4-0 lead at one point.
Right.
So
that game shouldn't have went to extra innings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But a win's a win. We'll take it.
Yeah.
And I had fun with the Nick thing.
Right. Yeah.
That's so just spoil sports.
Yeah. Spoiled, rotten sports people.
Trying to have fun here. At 6:11, it's time for the big take, so I got to go. Atlanta Braves, 6-5 in 10 innings. We win! And the NL East champions, their 5th loss in 6 games, by the way. So we begin a series, and we're coming home, and that's why I'm going to take you quickly to the NBC 10 First Alert forecast, because we've got baseball and whatnot activities in Philadelphia. So today, Phillies kick off the weekend series that starts a 4-game series, starts tonight against the Mets. So weather-wise, tonight's okay. We're at 76 degrees, and this is your last lovely day, okay? And then tomorrow, it looks like for the bulk of the day, we hold off with the, torrential rain, but then the wind starts to pick up. So Friday night, but into Saturday looks, they're saying it's a washout. It's chilly. It's still in the low 70s, but just a washout of a day. Torrential rain. Sunday's not a washout, but the rain will continue. And then just in time for the work week to begin, Monday, we just go right back up there to mid-70s and bright sunshine. That's your NBC 10 First Alert forecast. Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 6:13 Thursday morning. Let's get to another Big Take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
This morning's Big Take, the GOP's future lies within school classroom common sense. You know, this week we have done two big takes talking about the future of the Republican Party. On Monday, I made the case that the Joe Biden impeachment inquiry and whether or not the House can actually pin this man down will have a direct impact on the likelihood of Donald Trump winning in 2024. Tuesday, we focused on how the Republican Party better focus on TikTok and make that social media app a priority when it comes to reaching out to and connecting with Gen Z. But today, I want to lay out why the parental rights battle going on in schools is actually a sound political strategy for Republicans to rally behind. In all honesty, it shouldn't be political. It's logical and common sense. Boys are boys, girls are girls. Boys go to the bathroom in the men's room, girls go to the bathroom in the ladies' room. And while the left wants to radicalize that train of thought and make it out to be acts of hatred when call parents extremists and try to smear groups such as Moms for Liberty, this is a battle that the GOP, Republicans, and even some moderates should double down on and draw a line in the sand. Yes, to protect their daughters and children in the school setting. Yes, to having the right to know what their kids are being taught. And if they are deciding to use different pronouns that don't align with their biological birth gender, but also to make sure that hopefully the lessons learned by their kids and potentially any victories achieved in fights with school districts and teachers' unions ultimately leads to the next wave of common sense Republican voters. Last Tuesday, we had a story that featured this headline on all of the local news outlets: Perkiomen Valley School District does not pass controversial bathroom policy. Here are some details. The Perkiomen Valley School Board did not pass a controversial policy in the bathroom during a vote on Monday night in Montgomery County. I happen to live in Montgomery County. Policy 720 would have required students to use bathrooms that align with their biological sex, meaning transgender students would not be allowed to use the restrooms that correlate with their gender identities. The proposal was sparked by a recent social media post by a dad who says his daughter encountered someone she thought may have been a boy in the bathroom. Quote, "The fact of the matter is, my daughter will go to school and not use a restroom here now," said Tim Jagger, who made the social media post. He admits that neither he nor his daughter are 100% sure if the person she saw was a transgender person, saying, quote, "She is too upset and emotionally disturbed to walk into a restroom." Jagger was among the residents speaking at last week's school board meeting, which included a discussion of the issue. Another person who addressed the board said there was, quote, "no factual evidence saying that the other person in the restroom was trans or a man in any way," end quote. The superintendent of Perkiomen Valley Schools, though, said a new bathroom policy is not necessary. Quote, "We have policy 103, which is non-discrimination in Title IX, and it calls out gender identification as a protected class." That is, according to Superintendent Barbara Russell. Now, that occurred on September 11th and September 12th. Since then, we have an update that occurred on September 15th. High school students in Pennsylvania walked out of class in protest of the Perkiomen Valley School Board's trans bathroom policy that puts females in danger. The school board voted on a policy this week that would force students to use bathrooms that align with their biological sex, but they failed to pass it. Students were not having it. Take a listen and watch, especially if you're on YouTube, to the video of this walkout. An estimated 400 students are walking out in the protest, and it's really great to see students unafraid to stand up against these dangerous trans policies forced on them by a leftist school board. As one parent said on Twitter, quote, "The adults aren't standing up for the safety of these students, so they are standing up themselves." So let me get this straight. 15 to 18-year-olds are rational enough to realize that Johnny is not really Jessica, and Johnny needs to go to the potty with the boys. But lunatic educators like Randy Weingarten and these stooges in Montgomery County want to try telling you that a square can become a circle and vice versa. No, they can't. It's a fantasy. It is a mental health breakdown. And biology, the last time I checked, is part of science. It's indisputable. You can't selectively pick and choose what science you adhere to and what science we're just going to dismiss. That's not how it works. But let me pivot away from this local story and go national for a moment. And speaking of Randy Weingarten, the National Teachers Union boss who likened the rhetoric of supporters of school choice and parental rights to that of segregationists, speaking and sparking an outcry from supporters of protecting their children. The same lady who has been exposed in emails contradicting what she has said publicly about school closures for COVID during the pandemic years is now using words like segregationists. The explosive comparison of Jim Crow-era racists to modern-day activists pushing for school districts to allow parents to have more input into their child's education was made last Tuesday, saying, quote, and this is Randy Weingarten, the same kind of roots that happened in the aftermath of Brown v. Board, those same words that you heard in terms of wanting segregation post Brown v. Board of Education, those same words you hear today, Weingarten said in response to a question about the differences in the political discussion surrounding schools now compared to the 20th century. Weingarten then argued that, quote, only a small group of extremists who want to see an end to public education back school choice and parental rights policies. Nikki Neely, the president of Parents Defending Education, tweeted in response to the union leader's comments, quote, if Randy is actually interested in addressing modern-day segregation in schools, she should unequivocally condemn the practice of racially segregated affinity groups and healing circles that are currently being used in K through 12 schools, end quote. But here's the reality. If conservatives, Republicans want to connect with moderates and independents, they'll continue this fight because it's not just a conservative thing. It's every parent. This is widely accepted by many parents, this battle for school choice and parental rights. And it's sad that it's political when it's really biological and practical. But I think the GOP needs to find areas of commonality with the middle that also agree with them. And this might actually be a winning battle now and into the future and for the future of the Republican Party. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, big take this morning. If you would like to jump in, thoughts and reaction, you can certainly do so. 855-839-1210, the phone number, Twitter and Instagram at 1210WPHT. And, of course, in the Kayal and Company comment community, just go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the like and subscribe buttons. We'll come back, get your thoughts and reaction to that, as well as the hypocrisy and the conspiracies behind the big senator, the big guy, John Fetterman, as we continue Thursday edition of Kayal and Company, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. Tonight, Thursday Night Football, San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. You can hear it all right here on 1210 WPHT starting at 7:30. How about this for a same-game parlay? I'll take San Francisco with the spread at 10.5. Darren Waller for an anytime touchdown. Christian McCaffrey for an anytime touchdown. And Deebo Samuel for an anytime touchdown. A $10 wager on this can win $212. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg and sign up right now. Kick off the NFL season right with FanDuel. FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL and is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, present PA. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issue does not withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms of sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano inviting you to join me in Wildwood, New Jersey tomorrow at Mulligan's Shore Bar. We'll be broadcasting live from Mulligan's with me and my very special guest host that day, Hollywood leading man Kelsey Grammer. That's right, Kelsey Grammer will be my guest live and on site for the show at Mulligan's in Wildwood. Join me and the crew for a fun-filled day tomorrow at Mulligan's Shore Bar in Wildwood, New Jersey. Guest host Kelsey Grammer. Visit Mulligan's on Facebook at Mulligan's Shore Shore Bar for details.
For all of you who love to cook Italian, here's a mouth-watering message from Cento.
Big lasagna, manicotti, clam sauce with linguine, chicken parmigiana, and tuna capellini, gnocchi alla rosa sauce, pomodoro frittata, pappardelle, perciatelli, pasta caponata.
How do you give those dishes authentic old-world flavor? Authentic Italian cooking begins with Cento. Cento for taste that sings. Cento. Trust your family with our family.
Jalen, over here!
Harley, use your hands.
Ugh, why do you throw so hard, man? That hurts.
Hurts. Not as much as old Windows hurts your energy bills.
Or hurts your home value.
Or hurts your wallet by paying too much.
Take it from Hertz and avoid the hurts. Call Window Nation.
And catch this great deal.
Get 50% off every style window, plus pay nothing for 2 full years. It never hurts to have the very best on your team.
Call Window Nation today. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
Call now!
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. September is Cholesterol Education Month, and it's time to take charge. So how is your cholesterol? For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted partner in cholesterol support. I've relied on Rescue supplements for years. With Rescue, you'll find specific supplements tailored to your needs. Favorites like omega-3s, red yeast rice, and more. Right now, all you have to do is just use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, buy one, get a matching Rescue cholesterol product for free. I've personally seen the firsthand benefits of Rescue supplements. They are incredible. Remember, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your cholesterol support order for free today.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
I'm Ed Bonner, and this is my wife, Lynn, and we have been members of Crash Proof Retirement since 2014. My goals for retirement were to do what I wanted, when I wanted, how I wanted, where I wanted, not have to worry about money. And inflation, supply chain issues, chaos throughout the world, of all those issues that are going on around us, my nest egg is one issue I don't have to worry about.
Crash Proof has provided me with a level of security. We have not lost any money. The value of earning interest with the Crash Proof retirement system, it goes directly into our individual accounts, and I know that I can't lose anything.
Tomorrow is 2 cups of coffee and a day of relaxation, not having to worry about my savings.
You're invited to reserve your seat at the next Crash Proof Retirement Educational event at Springfield Country Club on October 24th. Registration is required. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I got my first real 6-string, bought it at the 5 and dime, played it till my fingers bled, was the summer of 69, me and some guys from school.
It's Kayal Company, baby. 6:27 Thursday morning. Welcome back in.
I am woke, mother.
Actually, we're not. Thank you, Howard. New addition to the board.
Wow.
The king of all media, former king. Good stuff. We got a lot of great stuff lined up for you today. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. We'll get to John Fetterman here in just a few moments, as well as Joe Biden in the first hour. But I do want to get some thoughts to what has transpired at the Perkiomen Valley School District, especially with this walkout. Hasn't Been Sober tweeted me during the big take saying the following: my wife works for Perkiomen Valley School District and told me that the students that walked out over the bathroom policy were very orderly and polite, no issues at all. So, yes, 100% peaceful, which, of course, you will not hear from the mainstream media. But, Dawn, I think it's amazing, and I know you talk a lot about school choice and parental rights and, Meg Brock and others that come on your show. But it's remarkable that adults in that school district just refuse to accept biology, yet kids 15 to 18, 400 of which said, you know what?
Yeah.
No, we're not political. We're not young, indoctrinated future GOP supporters. We're just common sense, and we say, you know what? A man shouldn't be in a women's bathroom.
Yeah, and I love the fact this is making national news now. It took a few days because it happened Friday, but it's now, we've been talking about it, but it's national news.
Mhm.
I'm glad.
Yep. And I see that video, and you see everybody, it looks like they're all just getting ready to leave for the summer. They're walking on the sidewalk at the school, near the parking lot where the buses presumably would be, and 400 of which, and I don't know how many kids are actually enrolled in the high school, 1,200, 1,600, whatever it might be, 2,000. But a sizable portion of the student body says, you know what? We've had one of our classmates that had to deal with this and now has this apprehension about using the restroom, all because you have some school district employees citing Section 703 or Rule 102 or whatever the number was that I quoted in that story. And it's like, no, we're gonna use our right to protest, and we're gonna show our disdain and our disgust for your lack of protecting other females. Which we're like, it's wild that the protection of biological females is now second to the mental health and feelings of boys that want to become girls or boys that think they are girls, which is really a remarkable plot twist to the evolution of the female rights movement. Like everything that females fought for, now it's like, you know what? We've given you a lot, but it's time for the trans man to supersede your actual safety and security, which is just staggering. I saw this yesterday, Dawn. There's a post of some guy protesting, and I tweeted it out, and there's a couple of people standing around him, and the guy is, and this is not at Perkiomen Valley, I have no idea where this was, but the poster and this big board that this guy is holding says, if genitals don't define gender, how does removing them affirm it? Let me repeat that again. This is where you can just give like a checkmate to anybody that supports the trans movement as far as going into female bathrooms or, body parts being hacked off. Here's what it says again. If genitals don't define someone's gender, how does removing them affirm it? Hit them with that, and I guarantee you they go silent and they have no rebuttal. Well, they might get angry, but they won't have a logical rebuttal.
Yep, you're right. And what encourages me most in the big picture of life moving forward is how all of our kids in society, no matter what age, how they viewed the pandemic and what they've learned since then. Remember Perkiomen, I'm just going to perk up your, everybody, I mean, I know we know this here physically, but, all of us, just to remind you, this was the very district that was trying to be the first one in Montgomery County. Remember Montgomery County, strict mandates going along with the teachers union nationally, the union leadership, the Biden administration, so on. They were the first in Montgomery County to make masks optional, and then they became the last because, remember, that court order. It was U.S. District Judge Wendy Beetlestone. Remember her? And that was making national news. She was that Obama appointee, went back and forth. But this district, these very kids, they put up with the pandemic and all the years and the arbitrary mandates and all of that nonsense. And even in, I want to say a year ago, they still had the situation, coming out of, Christmas break or holiday break, we're going to go back and with kids and we're going to do some remote learning. These kids, they're like your bus driver, Nick Kayal.
Oh, no. Really? She's that fired up?
Oh. They've had it.
Oh, all right.
Do you hear me?
We hear you. Loud
And that's
clear.
the kids. I think these students, these teenagers, and you saw their parents, and everybody was orderly, but you saw the parents and the moms especially to the side, and they were taking video of their kids, and they were so proud. And that's a great message to me.
Yeah.
That, you know what? The grown-ups, as my kids often say, Mom, the grown-ups, you're all crazy, meeting as a collective group in society. This should give us great hope.
Yeah, I agree.
These are the leaders of the future. This is the future. Orderly. making their voice heard. Okay.
Yep.
This is good news, Nick.
Yeah, I had this, typed up around 3:30, 4 o'clock. I didn't know that the actual walkout of 400 students occurred with video, and then Greg and a few others, got the video for it, and you just watch it. So if you were watching this morning on YouTube, you saw it. If not, go back, you can see it.
Well,
just hundreds of kids.
Why don't we run it back again, Daniel? If you can run it back again,
All
because
right, yeah.
I'm just curious if. I know, Don was saying that this is getting national attention now, but like it shouldn't have taken this long because I feel like this has every element of everything the mainstream media loves. Kids protesting things.
Okay, that's a
you
good
know what
point.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, it's a walkout. What are they walking out about? Like, if it was climate change or if it was something else, the CNN would have been parked there.
They would
for
have it on
4
loop.
days. Yeah.
Yes.
And just for anybody who's not from the area, this is like Collegeville, Schwenksville.
Mm-hmm.
So, Montgomery, a lot of
We're
people.
showing it right now on YouTube again.
Yeah.
So you've got, all these kids, book bags on. Obviously it's still summer weather. Some of them are holding up signs that are saying different things. Most of them just walking in orderly fashion.
When did this walkout occur?
It actually happened, Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Friday afternoon, okay.
And there's a handful of teachers, kind of like, not barricading.
moms.
And here's all the moms. There's all these parents standing there in the parking lot with like the school crossing guard, and they've got their smartphones out and they're recording it. I mean, I would love to know. Maybe Valdez or Dorenzo, we can find out just how many total students that high school has. I can't imagine that it's more than 2,000. So let's just say it's 2,000. That's 20% of the student body right there, just walking out. If it's less than 2,000, it might be a third of the student body. Yeah. So that's pretty strong stuff right there. 855-839-1210 if you want to jump in. All right, speaking of strong stuff, let's get to our favorite senator.
Joe Biden.
No, John Fetterman. John Fetterman, because now Fetterman is actually selling body double T-shirts. So for everybody, and we actually talked about this a few times this week when it comes to Fetterman with the dress code and stuff. There's been a lot of people on social media, doing before and after photos. Fetterman post-stroke versus rehab. Fetterman versus now versus last February when he took over in the Senate. His head shape looks different. His ears look a little different. He's got the different facial hair going. He's gone from clean shaven to goatee to mustache. Well, now Fetterman and his team have realized that this is a marketing opportunity for the Fetterman camp. And Fetterman's campaign website has now begun selling a shirt that says on the front, John Fetterman's Body Double. And you can purchase these online for $35. I would argue the better value is the Kayal Company T-shirt at $28 because saving $7 in Joe Biden's economy is a big win for Americans and Delaware Valley listeners. This is one of several new clothing items from Fetterman's website that makes reference to his casual style of dress, his affinity for hoodies, and his disregard for the insults that he gets from, quote, right-wing critics. This is a story from Mediaite.com. Quote, John has loved having fun with the body double conspiracy theory and the new Senate dress code, and he loves trolling, said Joe Covello, which and he goes on to say this is an example of all of those things meeting. And here's the thing. This is what I want to talk about when it comes to Fetterman specifically. And this is why Democrats are so gullible and they are so dumb. Because the hoodie, the schlub-like look, it's all false advertising with John Fetterman. It's meant to deceive young and dumb Democrats because the reality is this with John Fetterman. He is a Harvard graduate. He lived at home in his 50s. He is on record skipping out on paying taxes well over, I think, 60 times, which makes him like Hunter Biden on steroids when it comes to tax crimes, if you're looking at the frequency of not paying taxes. And he is legitimately not the working class, middle class guy. Yet that's the image that he and his team and Democrats try to portray. It's weird because normally when we talk about Democrats and the left, it's always about identity politics. Yet the identity politics usually lean to female, to minority, to LGBTQIA, LMNOP+. It's never identity politics in the positive light with the straight white guy, right? Like the left loves to tell you that the straight white cis man is what's wrong with America. And it's all rooted in white supremacy and male toxicity. Yet they play the positive identity politics card with John Fetterman under the portrayal of the working class, everyday man. See, John's just like you. Yes, he might be a senator. He might be a part of the swamp, but he wears Carhartts and cargos, and he's got a tattoo on his forearm like the everyday working class man. They try to make it out as if John Fetterman is the guy that you would see at a construction site or, a manager at a retail store. The guy is a Harvard grad. He's an elitist. And oh, by the way, he didn't pay taxes and lived at home with mommy and daddy till he was 50, and also chased a black man down the street with a weapon. Now, if that was a Republican, what would be the mainstream media spin on all of the bullet points of John Fetterman's life and Wikipedia page I just ran by for you? Oh, he's a deplorable. This is exactly what's wrong with the Republican Party. Yet he's a Democrat from Braddock, Pennsylvania. And now he's selling hoodies for $35 a piece because some people that listen to this show, perhaps, I don't think that's Fetterman. That can't be Fetterman. I said like a few days ago, no, it's Fetterman. It really is. And I think most people are obviously just having fun with it. But it's like those pictures of the before and after for the magic weight loss pill that people take. Man, that guy looks totally different. He's tanner. His eye color changed. He dropped 50 pounds in 6 weeks. That's false advertising. There's no way that guy did that, and that's not that real guy. But get your Fetterman hoodies, $35 a piece. So just wanted to share that. And then there's the video that's now resurfacing, which also points out the hypocrisy. Fetterman said during a radio interview when he was running for Senate that when he was a candidate last year that he would adhere to whatever dress code was in place if he was elected to the Senate. Quote, will you wear your hoodie on the Senate floor? Fetterman was asked during a radio interview with the Big K morning show, not the Big Kayal company show, but in early October of 2022 when he was still on the campaign trail, if you want to call it that. Remember that disastrous debate with he and Mehmet Oz. Quote, I'm only going to wear what you're supposed to wear and whatever the dress code is. It's really not about what I'm wearing. And if anyone that's listening prefers somebody that dresses like a real person or somebody that lives, that wears a $5,000 fancy suit, then that's really up to somebody. You can make your own conclusion. So he was saying this even in the fall, and here he is once again kind of contradicting himself. Well, I'm going to wear whatever the required wardrobe is. And then he's like, well, but if you want to evaluate somebody based on a $5,000 suit, you can go right ahead. And obviously we've seen Fetterman in a suit, I think maybe 2 or 3 days total, maybe one time for the photo op with the family, and then in another Senate congressional type setting where he was talking. I think it was actually the last time he wore a suit was when he was talking about the collapse of 95.
Yeah, because that was one of those hearings, right?
That's correct. And we played you the soundbite where
he wearing a suit in that?
I think he was.
Okay.
Because remember, he had that little skinny microphone in front of him, and somebody asked him a question, and he was like, well, 95. And he got all caught up with, with the words and everything post-stroke. And I think that's the last time I visually remember him in a suit. So
the last time I remember him is when it was picture day at the Senate floor
and that was
the
awkward too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, where he wore like the oversized suit, like.
But his kids weren't dressed up though.
Grader.
Remember, his kids looked like schlubs that day.
Yeah,
if I recall correctly.
Well, the funny thing was, his wife prides herself to say she likes to go to thrift stores, but she always looks amazing.
Yeah,
and everything fits as if it's custom done. The kids, though,
right,
that you're referring to, I felt bad for the kids. They looked like they were wearing a shirt that was 10 sizes too big.
That's what it was, yes.
So the clothes themselves were fine. They were like khakis and a shirt, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they were really misfit. I just felt bad for the kids.
Yeah.
And remember that? It was just this awkward photo shoot, and you don't know where the kids just told not to say anything. Or it was just, I just remember feeling really bad for the kids. And if you're a kid and your shirt, it's like a button-down shirt. It was like, remember that? It was like 14 inches hanging down past their hands.
Like father, like son.
It was just, come on,
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Well, except that's mom's job.
That's a good point. And mom's all dolled up and decked out, right?
Right. Like sometimes, like you always see sometimes the mom, you feel like you're a hot mess of church or whatever, but your kids look amazing.
Right.
This is the opposite.
Yeah,
of
this
that.
is like reverse Bizarro world. Yeah, it really is. 855-839-1210 is how you jump in. Coming up next, Joe Biden is at it again, making false claims. What is the latest lie in the history of lies for Biden? We have them chronicled for you. And also, Joe's lead that he once had on Donald Trump, it's evaporated. It's gone. We'll give you the details when we come back. Kayal and Company live here on a Thursday morning. Nick, Dawn, and Greg, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Larry Steinhauser of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
It's that time of year again to consider replacing your old drafty windows and doors before another long, cold winter season rolls in, and the great people at Guida Door and Window will help make your window and door replacement project more affordable with their buy one, get one half off sale. For every door or window you buy, you'll get a second one at 50% off, and you can mix and match the savings to suit your own needs. Buy an entry door, get half off a storm door. Buy a patio door, get 50% off a window. Need to replace all the windows and doors in your house? Well, you save 50% on half your project. The more you need, the more you save. Plus, Guida is making it easier for you to afford your project with no money down and interest-free financing for up to 18 months. Act now. Offers for a limited time only. Restrictions apply. For full details, call Guida today to schedule a free, no-obligation in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
Hey, it's John Ritchie. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and your point-of-sale system isn't helping you sell more, earn more, or work less, you need to talk to my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. PDQ has everything you need for success, including enhanced mobile reporting, direct integration to delivery apps, 24/7 customer service, and so much more. Whether you have a single-location restaurant or thousands of locations, Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ can help. Visit pdqpos.com.
Don't miss Good News in Real Estate with Deanne Katsaros and Mark Cumberland, Saturdays at 1 p.m. Find out all you need to know about home buying and selling. Considering a career in real estate? Visit PhiladelphiaRealEstateClasses.com. Good News in Real Estate, Saturdays 1 p.m. on WPHT.
Hi, this is Don Giordano. Are you concerned about your child struggling in school? Do they need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown. 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for that no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today, 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today, 800-300-0003.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today. today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Russian missiles shelled multiple Ukrainian cities, including capital city Kyiv, overnight, with at least 2 dead in Kherson. The White House is granting temporary legal status to hundreds of thousands of Venezuelan migrants, making it easier for them to work. And Chester County will fully enclose the exercise yards that Danilo Cavalcante recently escaped from.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
What was your first car? Brings back a lot of memories, doesn't it? You know, for my Michael, he's still a teenager, but when he graduated high school, by the way, now he's starting sophomore year at Penn State, Dean's List. But when he graduated LaSalle College High School, we had said we'd help him buy a new car. We finally did that with a little help from my friends at Piazza Auto Group, and specifically Ross and Vince, Tony, Kristen over at Piazza Honda right here in Philadelphia. What an amazing experience. And the Piazza Auto Group and the Piazza family made it even more memorable for Michael. Just a look of pride on his face. He loves that car. And by the way, you know, he's responsible for driving his little brother to high school in the morning. One wake-up call is to say, well, your brother has his permit, your younger brother, so he could, you know, if he can't wake you up, you know, we'll just have you. David can take the car. That guy, boy, he's up right now. He's up. Boom, he's up early. But seriously, they treated us so great. They're going to treat you great. Piazza Auto Group, great individuals. And there really is the power of the Piazza Auto Group as well. They carry more than 1,200 pre-owned vehicles at any given time, not just the brands that I talk about, like Honda or Acura, Mazda, Hyundai, Volkswagen, pretty much any other brand you can imagine. That's what I'm talking about, the power of the Piazza Auto Group. Just visit PIAZZAAutogroup.com. You want to search Piazza's pre-owned inventory, or for the dealer nearest you. They're across the region, across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
$6:50. It's Kayal and Company live here on a Thursday morning. Good to have all of you aboard. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. A big 7 o'clock hour on the way. The decline of CNN continues, which is just fascinating and glorious. And a former individual, a former employee of CNN, saying that the network has a Donald Trump problem. I always love when former employees come out and say, here's why you are struggling. We'll get to that as we continue. But one of the things that I want to talk about here for a couple of minutes, and maybe we've got a couple of things on the Biden front that we will touch on here and then again after Dawn's news. The thing that makes Joe so beloved is, you know, Joe just fits in everywhere he goes, right? Joe's middle class Joe. You know, some days Joe is part Polish. Other days he's part Greek. Puerto Rican, yeah. African American. He's also apparently Jewish and was involved in many synagogues growing up.
Nice.
Or so he claims. So Biden claims that he was raised in synagogues, adding to the ever-growing list of exaggerated background claims. I mean, he's got the most astounding Wikipedia page that you will ever see. But President Joe Biden's latest claim about being raised in the synagogues of Delaware follows a long history of the octogenarian president exaggerating his cultural background in an attempt to connect with the people he's speaking to. Recently, he just said, quote, you might say, was raised in the synagogue of my state. You think I'm kidding? I am not.
Not a joke.
It's not a joke. The president, who calls himself a devout Catholic, has made the claim before, though he did it again this past Friday, and there's very little evidence to support that. Biden also saying at the time that he received his education through synagogues, also telling rabbis that he got involved with the civil rights movement, and those have been derailed over debunked lies. He went on to say, during the 60s, I was, in fact, very concerned about the civil rights movement. Then presidential candidate Joe Biden said, I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved in what they were thinking and what they were feeling, but I was not out there marching. I was down in Selma. So he's gone from playing to the African-American community and the civil rights movement to being raised in synagogues in his latest speech last week. He has also claimed frequently to have attended a black church as a teenager, despite longtime congregants insisting they never saw him there. In February of 2015, he raised eyebrows after he claimed that he had an awful lot of Somali friends who drove taxis. Big community, right? Somali people, taxis, 8 years ago. Joe's been a part of that movement as well. Here's the guy that's calling him out. The Washington Post, who has their own, Brian Stelter, so to speak, Glenn Kessler, he's their fact checker, called all of these claims whoppers and argued that the vast majority of the claims that Joe Biden makes either are 95% exaggerated with very little credibility or 100% made up lies. Joe Biden in the past as well has insisted during Greek Independence Day 2009 that he's an honorary Greek, not only today but every day. He also stated on another occasion that we haven't had a Greek in the White House, but we do now have a Joe Bidenopolis. No relation to Mr. Stephanopoulos from one of the Sunday morning shows. So this is really a continuation for Joe, where whenever he is in front of a group of people, whatever the occasion, whatever the demographics or the identity politics are of the setting that he is at, he has a storied history as being a part of that community, which is really next level politics if you think about it. Like, this is to a T, this is why people hate politics and think they're all slimy used car salesmen, because this guy, that's because this guy literally just makes it up as he goes. But it's all a repeat. Everything he said that I just read for you has been regurgitated 4 or 5 times.
It is interesting now that all of a sudden the Washington Post, we played a clip last week, I think, of Daniel Dale from CNN. All of a sudden now they're fact-checking Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
We've never seen them fact-check him in the 4 years or however long it's been that he's been in office. Now all of a sudden they're fact-checking.
Fact-checking became an industry because of Trump.
You have to wonder why they're doing it, though, right? Because, like, all of a sudden now, there's a lot of – the tide has turned.
Oh, yeah.
And the Democrats and the media and everything seems to be really turning on Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just – it's almost like some would say a calculated effort to do so.
It's coordinated. Everything they do is coordinated. The timing of the cases against Donald Trump, always a day after bad news with Biden, and then all of a sudden it's like they all checked their inbox on a Labor Day morning 3-4 weeks ago, and it was subject: time to jump ship on Joe. Here's how to derail the guy and what to say.
Exactly.
And they all printed it, and they're all reading it.
Yep.
Verbatim.
Yep.
855-839-1210. And speaking of people jumping ship, well, you know what? That lead that Joe Biden had over Donald Trump, that is evaporating by the minute. In a new poll, we have a dead even heat. We will give you some of the figures and also some of the other numbers on the other side right after Dawn's news as we kick off Hour 2 of Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When you call Oliver Heating and Cooling, you get reliable service for your home's heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems. Just like your car needs regular service and an oil change, your AC system needs an annual tune-up to make sure it's running safely and efficiently all summer. Our technicians will do a complete inspection for only $70. We service all makes and models and guarantee our work. Call Oliver today to schedule your appointment for a tune-up or visit us online at oliverheatcool.com. Oliver Heating and Cooling. Peace of mind for your home and business.
Don't miss Borgata's $1.4 million Wild Winnings giveaway. This September and October, you could win a share of $1.4 million in prizes, including one of 2 new Mercedes-Benz SUVs or one of 4 Polaris ATVs. Play to earn entries for 2 grand prize drawings held Saturday, September 30th and October 28th. The Wild Winnings giveaway, only at Borgata. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Football season is upon us, and the big question, will the Birds get another ring? I don't have the answer to that question, but if you have a woman in your life that is looking for her own ring, I can tell you the answer is Family and Company Jewelers in Marlton, New Jersey. They are the only place I recommend for your engagement ring, wedding band, whatever you need. The largest inventory in the area, Of course, the best prices. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination, online at familyjewelers.com.
Your neighborhood grocery outlet has the name brands you love, all at shockingly low prices. But do you ever wonder how we do it? Simple. We buy opportunistic items for less and pass the savings along to you. When a brand has excess inventory from packaging or manufacturing overruns, they call us. There's no club membership needed. So stop by your local grocery outlet today and let the bargain hunt begin.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to Rhino Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of Rhino Shield. John, take it away.
John from Rhino Shield here, reminding you that when it comes to painting your home, there is a better way. We all know that traditional paint just doesn't last, and that's why painters only offer a 1-year guarantee. But Rhino Shield is different. Our elastomeric ceramic house paint is warranted for 25 years, so you'll never paint again. Don't spend your money on regular paint that just doesn't last. Invest instead in a product that will protect your home and look beautiful for years to come. Let Rhino Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation, or find us online at www.myrhinoshield.com.
Hey neighbor, what you up to?
Just getting the groundwork done to put in my new patio.
Oh, cool. Did you contact Pennsylvania One Call system to check for underground utilities first?
Nah, there's nothing but dirt back here.
Whoa, hey man, are you okay?
Hey, did you guys lose power too? Love that new hair color, Bill.
Yeah, your hair's totally white now.
Maybe I should contact Pennsylvania One Call.
Well, that's the smartest thing you've said all day.
Know what's below. Contact 811 before you dig, or visit pa1call.org to submit a locate request to have underground utilities marked.
Miller Lite has high hopes for the Phillies this season. So catch every game at Barnaby's in Havertown with a $4 Miller Lite bottle special. Barnaby's, a family favorite restaurant in Delaware County, features a covered outdoor patio, a fabulous happy hour, wide selection of draft beer, and delicious American grub. So enjoy every Phil's game at Barnaby's in Havertown. Barnaby, a proud partner of WIP's High Hopes Pod with James Seltzer and Jack Fritz. It's Miller time, Phillies fans. Celebrate responsibly.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in caregiving New Jersey families, the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
PNC's business banking team was built entirely around the way you like to do business. Need innovative mobile tools that let you manage your cash flow, monitor your payments, and more around the clock? You've got it. Need a team of business bankers who are ready to sit down and help you develop personalized strategies? You've got it. PNC is proud to be a part of the Delaware Valley community. Learn how PNC Bank can make a difference for you and your business at pnc.com/bank your way.
PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Dom Giordano at noon. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Kayal and Company, 7:01. Welcome back in hour number 2, Thursday morning. It's Nick, Dawn, Greg, Anthony, and Daniel. As we head until 10 o'clock this morning, 855-839-1210. That's how you climb aboard at 1210 WPHT on the Twitters and Instagrams, YouTube, the free Odyssey app. Just get in there. Consume the show any way you want. 7:45, we've got What's on the Cut Sheet. Also, another great prize for our morning mystery movie clip at 9:20 this morning. And another opportunity for you at 9:50 to win a free trip to Walt Disney World with our Disney World keyword. You'll take that to 1210WPHT.com and enter that when we give you that keyword coming up at 9:50. CNN in trouble, and also Joe Biden in trouble when it comes to latest polling numbers. We'll get to that as we continue, but let's get some news to kick off hour number 2, and here is the great Dawn Stensland at 7:02.
And good morning. We are sponsored this Thursday morning. This is September 21st. We are right now at 57 cool, crisp degrees. And this morning, we are sponsored by the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association at Parks. So in the news this morning, let's get to it and talk about what's going on, as there are some real questions, more questions, I should say, being put upon the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office. The sheriff cannot account for 185 guns, according to the city controller. So this is, we've talked about this before. This is the acting city controller, Charles Edertrill, writing in a letter yesterday. And this is to Sheriff Bilal, who's up for re-election, and saying there's just not sufficient evidence to account for all of these guns, 76 guns and 109 weapons that were surrendered to the office. So the controller still considers technically all of the guns unaccounted for because of poor record keeping.
Poor bookkeeping.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the amount of things that we have seen in government just go missing lately in the last, I don't know, let's just call it 9 months, is astounding. It really is. I think the F-35 just went missing. Oh, we've had 185 guns just disappear. We had all this COVID funding that we don't know where it went. Just remarkable.
Yeah, it is. And probably, I mean, this is why elections are, I guess, a good thing. And, because ultimately now the sheriff today is saying, well, I'm going to, this is Sheriff Rochelle Bilal up for re-election, is going to hold a news conference at some point today and explain all of this.
And what jurisdiction is this again?
And this is City of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Say no more, right?
Okay, that makes sense now.
But, the controller's office recommended that the sheriff's office just confirm whether, for example, retired deputies have guns in their possession or proof of their disposal. So, for example, usually if you retire, you're allowed, they'll give you the option. Do you want to keep your firearm?
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay as long as you document it.
Right.
Now, Bilal had said, it was a hot mess. I inherited this, but what's this, 3 years later? And so this is one of the many concerns. I'll just remind everybody that it was a deputy with the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office was arrested and charged, remember, with trafficking and selling guns.
Mm-hmm.
They've had problems with corruption. And the only reason we knew about it, it was through the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Okay.
And so one of those individuals, 29-year-old Samir Ahmed of Philadelphia, was arrested. That was a year ago. But just keep in mind that one of the firearms was used in that deadly ambush shooting after the football scrimmage, October 13th.
Okay.
And we know this well. We've talked about it.
That was Nicholas Elizalde, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the Roxborough High School. We're coming up on, or excuse me, it was actually, the arrest was October. Nicholas was shot and killed, innocent kid after a JV scrimmage, Roxborough High School. It happened September 27th.
So we're 6 days away from that.
Right,
wow,
from that
time
commemoration.
flies. Yep.
I know. And so you think about that, and that was, that corruption was highlighted. So what's going on with this?
Yeah.
As well, the controller pointing out, and this is my final point on this story, but and kudos to the Inquirer for pointing out that Bilal had given herself a big raise, that it was even approved by Mayor Kenny's office.
Mm-hmm.
So just the swirl and the whiff of a lot of things that might not be so kosher going on in Kenny's department, and kudos to the controller for calling this out.
And you mentioned the officers, when they retire, they're given the option if they want to keep their firearm. I would imagine if you worked in Philadelphia police and are a city resident, as you retire, I can't imagine you not wanting to keep that firearm, given the current conditions and climate of what goes on in this city.
Well put. So, and as long as you document it, that the only problem is if you don't document it, which they're saying they didn't. So we'll get more answers. We're following this for you. In Burlington County, New Jersey, we've been headlining the story of mold forcing a New Jersey school district to move the students, either shuffle them to another school or in the case of Lumberton Township Middle School, these kids will be learning remotely. They've just learned this, learning remotely while mold in that school as well as Bobby's Run school can be remediated.
Yeah. And if you missed the first hour, we talked about this in the 6 o'clock news, and we also learned that Greg Stocker is a mold expert.
He's a mold expert.
Yes.
I didn't say I was a mold expert. I just, I know
a lot
things.
about mold remediation.
I do.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So, and the kids are learning all about it too.
Yep.
And the parents who now have to have their kids remote learning for 2 weeks. And
we actually have audio of a few of those parents. Valdez and Dorenzo mic'd some of their houses.
Really pisses me off.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that you have a lot of calls to employers right about now going, I just learned this with the mold, so
yep.
I got to work from home.
And you feel for the parents, too,
Yeah.
that can't afford, like, babysitters or daycare for this stretch, that can't get out of work or work remotely.
It's so true. And maybe your babysitter, so-called, that you get on Friday night is a high school kid
That's correct.
who's in school.
Right.
Because this only affects the middle schools.
There you go.
Chester County, we've been updating you that second community meeting. We've had some passionate meetings in Chester County, right? As residents speak their minds and demand answers after their 2-week ordeal after, of course, the convicted killer, armed and dangerous, had escaped from prison. So now we're hearing that the Chester County Prison, they're promising to, for example, fully enclose the exercise yards after the escape of that killer. But that's the good news. They're making major changes and renovations and trying to earn the trust back of the community. The bad news is the project is going to cost up to $3.5 million and may take at least 9 months to complete. Residents not happy. A lot of outrage.
I understand.
So we're following that one for you. And as well, let's talk about the Melrose Diner, South Philadelphia. So this is the end of an era, if you will. The iconic Melrose Diner, it's coming down. And as well in South Philadelphia, just remind you that after that wonderful win of our Phils.
With all their hype they get every year and all the money they spent in February, and then you get to September and they're just withering away like the fall leaves just dropping off of trees. Beautiful.
Trash talking Nick Kayal.
That's right.
So before I get to the NBC 10 First Alert forecast, part of it you'll love, part of it you're going to hate. But let's talk about our sponsor, the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby at Parks Racing, Pennsylvania's biggest day, thoroughbred racing, the Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby at Parks on Saturday. This Saturday, September 23rd, gates open 10 o'clock in the morning. Free family fun, live music. Visit PennHorseRacing.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So today for your Thursday, gorgeous, 76 degrees. It's sunny, crisp, clear skies. Clouds start to move in for your Fridays. So the Phils tonight, I don't see any rain for the Phils tonight or today. But when we move toward tomorrow, there might be some sprinkles as the rain moves in for the weekend. But tomorrow we'll get the day in. Lower 70s, cooler. It'll feel more like fall coming into the weekend. Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 855-839-1210. As the fall comes in and the leaves wither off the trees, it's a lot like Joe Biden's lead over Donald Trump. This is a very interesting story. So Joe's lead over Donald Trump is now evaporating in a new poll that shows a dead even heat. The latest YouGov Yahoo News poll found that Joe Biden and Donald Trump now tied at 44% each amongst registered voters, just 7% undecided. So it's a very small, select crowd. And this is, granted, one poll, one sample size, but we know that this could very well come down to, in 2024, that small contingency of undecided voters, 4% saying that they will not vote. The previous poll that was conducted by YouGov/Yahoo last month found that Joe Biden had a slight edge over Donald Trump, with the sitting president polling at 47% compared to the former president's 41%. So that is gone. Joe's dropped down 3 points. Trump is raised up 3 points. So now we're even at 44 apiece. The survey results also show that 77% of Americans see Biden's age as a small or big problem, while 64% say the same about Trump, which kind of goes back to my theory and my thought process is it's not specifically just the age, whether it's age limits or age maximum or term limits or whatever it might be. It's also your cognitive state behind the number that is your age. Trump's still far more sharp and with it, which is why only 64% feel the same way with Trump as 77% do with Joe Biden. And then also, we've had a lot of conversation about both administrations' family and family members. When asked about whether Trump or Biden's family is more corrupt than the other, 41% said Trump, 38% said Biden, which tells me some people aren't paying attention to the alternative news that we get with the Biden family cover-up. But this is a big difference since August, where 46% of Americans said Trump and 36% said Biden. So that has shrunk as well. And this was a poll conducted from September 14th through the 18th with 1,636 U.S. adults. And I think, and we just talked about it in the last segment, when it comes to Joe and, Greg mentioned, why is it that the Washington Post and all these other media outlets that usually are hack sites and defending Joe Biden, why are they all exposing his lies? I think a lot of it is obviously just point blank period. If you have two functioning eyeballs and two ears that work, you see Joe decaying before our very eyes. But they're also all very aware of these poll numbers. They know that Trump's numbers go up every time he gets indicted. We know more and more keeps coming out about the Biden family. So once they start to see it in polls of, okay, well, 1,600 people here, 1,200 there, then it's like, all right, got to make that quick pivot. I mean, pretty much across the board right now, Trump and Biden are in a dead even heat, which is really fascinating where we were just maybe 10 months ago when I thought for a very long time, which is why I was so pro DeSantis, because I thought DeSantis had the better shot of beating Biden, but I didn't think DeSantis could beat Trump. And I really arrived at that conclusion was because I thought, say what you want, that a lot of people just hate Donald Trump, and that's why I felt like he would not be electable. But now more than ever, and he was just yesterday in Iowa. Did you see the pizza that he was tossing out? Handing out boxes of pizza like he was at a local Pizza Hut or something, and the crowd was just eating it up. And that's the prime example right there. Trump, even though he has not qualified for the everyman man for a long time because financially, well, he's not in that category, that's the moment where he connects with the individuals on a basis that DeSantis cannot replicate. And also Joe Biden can't replicate as well. So figured we would share that with you guys. 855-839-1210. We got to get to some media analysis on the other side. Just when you thought CNN couldn't go any lower, just when you thought with new leadership CNN might turn it around a little bit and just start to chip away at the MSNBCs and the Fox Newses of the world, not so fast. They hit a 32-year low. We will give you those details when we come back. It's Kayal and Company, live here on this Thursday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. September is Cholesterol Education Month, and it's time to take charge. So how is your cholesterol? For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted partner in cholesterol support. I've relied on Rescue supplements for years. With Rescue, you'll find specific supplements tailored to your needs. Favorites like omega-3s, red yeast rice, and more. Right now, all you have to do is just use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, buy one, get a matching Rescue cholesterol product for free. I've personally seen the firsthand benefits of Rescue supplements. They are incredible. Remember, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your cholesterol support order for free today.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
And Doug.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Have you been dreaming of a new shower to replace your slippery, ugly old tub? We're not talking about those cheap wraps that cover your old bath. PJ Fitzpatrick can install a low threshold or low entry, fully customized jacuzzi shower system in just one day. It is surprisingly affordable and it comes with a lifetime guarantee. Visit trustpj.com to set up a free design consultation and take advantage of generous fall promotions. That's trustpj.com.
Have you heard all the talk about fresh pet food? Well, at Dogs and Cats Rule, when it comes to fresh, healthy ingredients, we lead the way. Hi, I'm George Parenti, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing better nutrition-wise than fresh food for your pet. Stop in to one of our 7 neighborhood locations and ask our expert staff how a real, fresh, meat-based diet can change your pet's overall health and well-being. Shop online at dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
I am not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can actually change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. Dawn Stensland here. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine, and they take your body's own concentrated healing properties, put them directly into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC Kinetics treatments. Get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today. Imagine this fall moving around pain-free, doing all the things you love again. Just call QC Kinetics, see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. And they're right here in Philadelphia. Call 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000, QC Kinetics. Tell them Dawn sent you.
With a lump in your throat and a pounding chest, you utter, "Will you marry me?" With over a century of combined experience, Cozy Jewelers artisans will prepare you for the moment with a custom engagement ring. One-of-a-kind, Cozy custom designed jewelry as unique as the two of you. Don't just pick out a ring, create an heirloom. Before you take a knee, remember the 5 C's of diamonds: cut, color, clarity, carat, and cozy. Visit COZZIJewelers.com.
Volvo Finance, in concert with Cherry Hill Volvo, is offering lease and cash bonuses up to $2,500. Purchase or lease a new XC40 or XC90 through Volvo Finance and through Cherry Hill Volvo and receive this additional bonus along with the aggressive pricing already posted on our Cherry Hill Volvo website. This is a special offer and it is not to be missed. Volvo Finance and Cherry Hill Volvo and you, a perfect partnership.
If the market volatility of the past year has made you nervous about your retirement future, you're not alone.
So many people are waiting for the perfect time to retire. And those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
But that doesn't mean that it's hopeless. Jim Cipriotti has been helping people get to, through, and beyond retirement for over 20 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, now on Saturday mornings at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
What's on the menu? This is what I hear. Mom, what's on the menu? Love those Swedish meatballs yesterday afternoon before I headed out for the day. Because, I have that, I get up really early, 3:45 in the morning, right? Come to work. And then I have this in-between time right around 3 o'clock-ish where, thanks to the whatacrock.com team, delivering those delicious ready-made meals to my doorstep. So what do? I put it right in the slow cooker. It makes it so easy. And then by the time we all get home, toward evening, we come home after work and school and dinner is just simmering. So last night, Swedish meatballs, tender, juicy meatballs in a homemade brown gravy with egg noodles. Just delicious. Then I served a side spinach salad with it. Everybody loved it. So delicious. Tonight, what's on the menu? Beef stroganoff. Okay, this is a cream sauce, tender beef, and mushrooms. Now for this weekend, football, because we're coming into the fall season, the homemade beef chili. So I've told you about the 3-bean vegan chili. This is a homemade, thicker, heartier. This is a classic beef chili that's great for those chilly evenings, or for my purposes, I'll bring it to the high school football tailgate. Everybody's going to love it. And I'm excited also for the French toast bread pudding. Dessert in a crock pot, It is possible. Trust me, it's delicious. French artisan bread. I know I'm just making everybody so hungry. French artisan bread just smothered in cinnamon and cream. How good does this sound? It's all delicious. And for me, no, I don't have the work. I don't have the prep. I don't have the cleanup. This is awesome. Just use promo code WPHT, $10 off your first order. Ready-to-eat meals delivered to your doorstep. Whatacrock.com. If you're not doing this, I guess you don't value your time. Homemade, just not by me. Delicious. So, promo code WPHT at checkout. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Calling on Sewell, New Jersey to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Seven 23. Kayal and Company as we roll on live Thursday edition. Nick, Dawn, and Greg, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, the free Odyssey app. Get us on YouTube. What's on the cut sheet coming up in just about 20 minutes. Also, the Fauci family financials have been released. Wait till you hear this. And also, the latest strain of COVID is so super weak that doctors don't even know you have COVID unless they test you for it. So we're going to get to that story coming up. So as we get ready for more school shutdowns over what essentially is a runny nose, we'll try to make sense of that absurdity. But one of the things that we do talk about from time to time is, media and entertainment and pop culture on this show. And we have certainly been tracking and letting you know just how awful CNN is doing. We've also looked at it from the other perspective of how Fox was doing with Tucker Carlson first, post-Tucker Carlson, and how all that stuff is played out. But CNN just hit a new low as they posted their lowest weekend ratings in a key demo in its recorded history. That's how bad it is right now at CNN as they get ready to welcome in a new boss who goes by the name of Mark Thompson. So the all-important 25 to 54-year-old demo for cable news networks, the data was released on Tuesday, and CNN, which launched in 1980 and used to bill itself as the most trusted name in news, they totaled for the weekend a grand total of 55,000 viewers. I'm convinced that Matt Rooney and anybody else that does a weekend show here on 1210 can amass 55,000 listeners.
I mean, yes.
Yes.
That's a proven fact.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yet CNN, the once most trusted name in news, garnered a total for all of its weekend slate of 55,000 viewers, which does include, Dawn, their Sunday programs, State of the Union, led by Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. So some of the big-time people you see during the week in key time slots also do a Sunday show, and collectively Saturday and Sunday combined, 55,000 viewers.
Wow.
In a country of 340 million people.
Now that is something to strive for.
I mean, when the bar is so low, you can't go anywhere but up from there, I would think. But then again, I didn't think they would get this low. So who knows? That could be 47,000 in the next month or something. Also, the other weekend show, which apparently is one of their key Sunday shows, which also features somebody that gets no ratings during the week, which is really fascinating. You don't do anything during the week where it really matters, and then you're expected to do something on the weekend, and you fail again. But the whole story with Anderson Cooper and Stanley Tucci searching for Italy drew 43,000 viewers.
Wow.
I got to tell you, and as bad as that number might be, I would love to know from those 43,000 what you gain out of watching Anderson Cooper. When you sit down and watch that show, is he entertaining? No. Does he have any energy? No. Does he look like he had blood drained from his body?
I know.
Yes.
He is low energy.
He is the most uninteresting man on television on that network. And that's saying something because there's nobody that's interesting on that network. So it's it's like trying to find the shortest straw in the bunch. That's Anderson Cooper. Now, the network got crushed again during the weekday viewership as Fox had 683,000 viewers to MSNBC's 424,000 to CNN's 345,000. One industry insider said the following, quote, CNN is a ratings embarrassment. Now, we know that they've brought in this guy that used to, I believe, he was with Warner Brothers and Time, and
Zaslav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you brought in, and now they've brought in also Mark Thompson, who I want to say was with the New York Times or some New York publication left wing. I mean, Soccer, you part of your job is looking at numbers and trying to make sense of it and then telling the bosses what's going on and giving status reports and updates. If you were like CNN's top boss, what would you say to somebody that's in charge of programming with these numbers?
What we're doing right now is not working. We need to shake it up. That would be my speech everywhere we
But
went.
they haven't really, and like Dawn, they haven't shaken anything up other than getting rid of Don Lemon and elevating Collins.
I don't mean shaking up, like moving this person here and this person here, and let's try this person here because they work so well here.
Okay.
I think you just need to shake up the entire, like, what they do. You know
so
what I mean?
you're talking about the business model.
The business model.
Not the talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's just the cable news industry, the cable news business is very saturated right now. And people are craving something different. They are. And CNN is just not, they can't keep going with this old blueprint.
Yeah.
It's like the old blueprint of late night shows. Everybody does the same thing, the same thing. And then after a while, you're just like, okay, like I've seen this song and dance a million times. Let's try something. Let's try something new. I don't know what that is.
Right.
But if it was my job to figure out, you damn well bet I would.
I mean, everybody's down. So I was even looking, because we've talked about it over the years. And you look at CNN, what was it, 2 years ago when Jeff Zucker was still there, there was one ratings period. They were down like 90%, but even this past spring, down 61% in prime time. And we've talked about the facts, even Fox News Channel, who does well, they were down this past spring. And MSNBC actually...
It's a fatigue. People are fatigued with this. They are.
Yeah.
They are.
But part of it is so here's a piece of this. In local TV, we've seen this happen over the past decade, where all those big salaries, Jim Gardner is probably the last of that era. He, at 6ABC, just retired and made that $1 million mark. Nobody's making close to that, and nobody will locally. Now let's look at the networks. You know, when Tucker Carlson left Fox, everybody's like, wow, he's making $20 million a year, all these huge salaries. The networks cannot sustain that. And so now we're going to see that at the cable, whether it's the cable news or the network level. No, these big time anchor salaries are going away. And I think the Joe Rogan formula, where it's just feels authentic, it feels more natural, because everybody loves to listen.
Right.
Some watch, but they want the option to just listen to a podcast. You know, listen live or listen as a podcast.
On demand,
like
a
we
la
do.
carte, whenever I can get it, whenever I want. You know, it's funny you say that because right now in the world of sports radio, Odyssey has completely obliterated the competition in this city and in New York. So our station down the hall, WIP, has just crushed my old station. They're on the brink of elimination and extinction. And also in New York City, WFAN, which now Spike Eskin runs, who used to work here, got the ESPN station on their deathbed yesterday, as the ESPN station that always lost to the Odyssey station in New York has given up their FM antenna that they were paying $12 million a year to lease, and they're going back to their old AM signal and trying to say that we're going more digital, where it's not going to be so much about the actual AM or FM station, but it's going to be YouTube and podcasts and Stitch and Twitch and all this other stuff. So to your point about shaking it up, I'm wondering, now radio's a different animal than TV. Would CNN ever get to the point maybe where they scale back on the big-time contracts on live television and go more a la carte on demand?
Yeah.
Like, that's what they should probably do.
It's a genius move if they would do something like that.
And be the first to do it. And hire people who are edgy, younger, hip, not, Caitlin Collins, even though, now they're trying to put her in, she's younger, right? And a rookie by all accounts.
But she still does the same formula as everybody else.
That's my point that I'm going for. So they're, no, you're exactly right. Put her out, put her in a jean jacket, put her with a group of people, let her interact, let her be herself.
Right.
Right? Because
kind of like we did with you.
Just be you, Dawn.
Then try to get this genie back in the bottle.
That's correct.
It's like, Dawn, shut it.
And hold this mug a certain way.
But hold it a certain way. But you think about Caitlin Collins, so we know what we know about her, and what I find interesting is, she was raised in Alabama in a conservative home. What's going on with her? It's like they're trying to turn her into one of them.
Right.
I would like to just let her loose.
Yeah.
And see really what's in there and shake it up.
Yep.
Somebody like that might be very interesting because we talked about the fact even when she was interviewing Trump, it got annoying.
Right.
And I'm looking at that going, this rookie individual, smart, but that was not her. She had in her IFB in her earpiece, and they're going, you got to fact check. You got to stop.
Yep, I agree.
Let the authenticity rule, but also they'll save a ton of money. You can hire a lot of really smart, quick, good people. And Nick, we look at across the country and even Fox News, people who came from that sports world. Because in sports, you do have to be spontaneous. You do have to be quick.
Right.
And some of those personalities actually work better within this
Look at all the
format.
people that Fox has hired. Clay Travis, former sports guy. Will Kane, former ESPN sports guy. Hell, they have a former wrestler on there, that Titus guy.
I love him.
That big dude. He wears a backwards hat and a chain on live TV.
But you
don't see that on CNN.
And he's such a Buddha. I mean, some of the stuff he says.
He's a smart dude.
He is so smart and so wise and thoughtful. I love him on Gutfeld.
Yep. 855-839-1210, the number. We will come back, work our way towards what's on the cut sheet, including the Fauci family financials have been revealed. It's Kayal and Company, and we're back after this.
I got a same-game parlay for you here that, by the way, once I first mentioned it at like 6:20 this morning, and it's already ticked up. You can wager $10 and win $221 on tonight's New York Giants and San Francisco 49ers game, which you can hear right here on 1210 WPHT at 7:30. San Francisco with the spread at minus 10.5. Darren Weller for an anytime touchdown. Christian McCaffrey for an anytime touchdown, and Deebo Samuel for an anytime touchdown. Wager $10 and win $221. All from FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Place a 3-leg same-game parlay on this week's game between the Giants and 49ers, and you'll get bonus bets back if you don't win. You can build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app like I just gave you. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg right now so you don't miss your chance to get a no-sweat same-game parlay on America's #1 sportsbook. In partnership with Valley Forge Casino, FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, 21 and over, and is also the official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, President PA. Refund issued and non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano inviting you to join me in Wildwood, New Jersey tomorrow at Mulligan's Shore Bar. We'll be broadcasting live from Mulligan's with me and my very special guest host that day, Hollywood leading man Kelsey Grammer. That's right, Kelsey Grammer will be my guest live and on site for the show at Mulligan's in Wildwood. Join me and the crew for a fun-filled day tomorrow at Mulligan's Shore Bar in Wildwood, New Jersey. Guest host Kelsey Grammer. Visit Mulligan's on Facebook at Mulligan's Shore Bar for details.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
You're out of breath. Have a constant dry cough that won't go away. It could be interstitial lung disease. ILD is rare, but it's serious. It can be the fight of your life. And you can't face the fight of your life if you don't know you're in it. Ask your doctor. Find a pulmonologist. Get answers. There's hope. There's help, but don't wait. Go to lungsnu.com/fight-ILD.
Dust off those renovation plans and start designing that new kitchen of your dreams with some help from Colonial Marble and Granite. Colonial Marble and Granite is offering fully installed countertops for just $14.99 or an all-in kitchen for $6,999, including cabinetry, countertops, and sink and faucet package. You heard right, $6,999 all-in kitchen. Stop by a Colonial Marble and Granite area showroom to see their amazing selection of products or make an appointment for a free in-home consultation. Visit colonialmarble.net.
Two legends, one can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, it's true. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar are available in a can. And they are now available at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Two legends, one can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink. Go to finewineandgoodspirits.com. Please drink responsibly.
Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Virtua Health is here for you, all of you. Here for the run-of-the-mills, the out-of-the-blues. Here for everything in between. And with our Rowan University partnership, we're here, rethinking the way academic medicine feels. Welcome to a more convenient, smarter healthcare experience. And that's more good for everyone. Find a Virtua physician or location near you at virtua.org. Virtua Health, now more than ever, here for good.
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
We know you're excited because Eagles football is back. With the free Odyssey app, you can jump back and listen to the moments that matter, even if you missed it live. Hear Marks and Reese break down the offense, or listen to Nick Sirianni's interview with the 94 WIP Morning Show.
Yeah, I've been in a game where we scored a touchdown, and I'm fist pumping with the fans. I don't think I've done that since I played college football.
Stay close to the Eagles, wherever you are this season. Download the free Odyssey app today. AUDACY. Don't let woke win. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Welcome back to 740 live here on a Thursday morning. It's Kayal and Company. What else would it be? Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. A lot of people yesterday getting a lot of run, a lot of play out of our conversation that just kind of transpired organically about the fact that Dawn Stensland has always been surrounded by men in the workplace that can't assemble anything. I was getting texts all day about that one.
It's true.
I would have thought for sure that you could. I'm like, nope, I can't do any of that.
By the way, I'm going to say something, and it's
What?
going to contradict, things I say that you shouldn't do.
Okay.
But, like, Dawn, you retweet a lot of, like, random accounts. But, like, when there's clips of you discussing things on 1210 WPHD, you never retweet them.
Because I hate the way I look.
Oh, stop.
Dawn's like,
I need
been
hair and
here,
makeup.
done that. I don't know.
I'm like here with my little, oh, I look pale.
Like
I need
Greg,
better lighting.
But it was like a great segment where, like, Nick and I, we threw Zioli under the bus too, and like how we can't build anything, and
We
Dawn
threw Larry under the bus.
we threw Dawn's husband under the bus.
I
and,
love electric school buses.
and Dawn just looked like the champion, and I get crickets.
Sounds like
from her from Twitter.
here's Dawn's official statement on that.
Please don't bother me with such frivolity, okay?
Okay, she's at football practice. Don't bother her.
But I love Meg Brock, but you'll retweet her 17 million
Yeah.
times, even though she doesn't work for our radio station.
Why don't we hire her?
No, I'm good.
You're just afraid of her. She'll kick your butt.
No, I love Meg.
No,
of
I know.
course, I'm just
No
kidding.
space for Meg, Dawn. I'm trying to get a few extra dollars here. All right? It's just, so yeah, a lot of people loved that yesterday. So yes, we've realized that Dawn can cut the grass, assemble things. Greg relies on his father-in-law, and I used to rely on my wife.
Jeremy Burke on the YouTube chat says, "Get Dawn better lighting." I mean, she's the only one who has that light.
I know.
Right.
Nick
I
and
think it's-
Nick and I don't have that.
No, I
light.
basically do the show in the dark.
You do. You do.
You know what it is? Though? You have a bald head, so the light, everything, the light actually shines and reflects off of your head.
Yeah.
By the way, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Follow along, hit the like button. If you're watching right now, please hit the like button. We're at 83 likes. I want to get to 100.
But speaking of the lighting, I'm not somebody that needs glasses really for reading, but after doing this show after the first month of last year, I had to go to the eye doctor because I had like headaches every day because of the lighting in here.
Yeah.
And I don't even turn on the fluorescent lighting that lights up our backdrop behind me. And that's why I only wear glasses in this studio during the show because I dim the lights down so that my eyes don't pop out of my head. But there you go. Just wanted to fill people in on that. Cut sheet coming up here in about 3 minutes. I did say that the Fauci family financials have been released. And I think we all assumed this, especially for anybody, in the establishment, the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. But the numbers have been released. And if you're struggling on a paycheck-to-paycheck basis like I am and everybody else is, these numbers aren't going to make you feel real warm and fuzzy. But former National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases Director Anthony Fauci and his wife had a combined net worth that exceeded $11 million. This is when he departed his government post. Disclosures are now revealing. Fauci's 2022 termination report, which was obtained by Fox as an open record request, included his finances through his exit at the end of last year. And the documents show that Fauci and his wife were up nearly $2 million since before the pandemic. And Fox News also goes on to say the following, that he had a slight net worth dip from 2021 to 2022, but still very, very comfortable, up $2 million, $11 million combined net worth between he and his wife. Quote, during the pandemic years, the Faucis became decamillionaires with their household net worth exceeding $10 million. That according to Open the Book's CEO, Adam Andruski. He told Fox last year was a tough year in the markets. However, Fauci's net worth is still up sharply from $7.6 million in 2019. So let's think about these two numbers pre and post pandemic. Tony Fauci's net worth in 2019, after 37 years or 47, remember he's served under X amount of presidents for X amount of decades. He was at $7.6 million. And he came out of the pandemic sitting on $11 million, a gain of $3.4 million. There were very few individuals in the United States or on the planet that saw their net worth probably accelerate at the rate Fauci's did during a pandemic where we all lost many different things in our lives.
It just, every time I hear these public servants, and that's what they are, public officials, whatever, whether it's a congressperson or somebody like Fauci, and they make these millions and millions and millions, it just infuriates me.
Yep.
Because where is this money coming from? Where is this money coming from?
That's correct.
That's my question.
Hell of a life if you're, quote, a doctor. Before his retirement last December, Fauci was the highest paid federal employee. He made $480,654, which is actually $80,000 more than the salary of the president of the United States of America. POTUS makes, quote, $400,000 a year. Fauci was at $480,000. So it must be nice to be in bed with the government, with Big Pharma. So when you're here, get your booster. Get your booster. You know why. I mean, that's real simple. All right, so 7:46. Enough of Fauci. Let's get to some fun. It's the best segment every single day on the show. It's time for What's on the Cut Sheet.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
What's on the Cut Sheet on this Thursday is brought to you by our good friends at Cherry Hill Volvo, where Costco members save an additional $1,500 on certified 2020, 2021, or 2022 XC40, XC60, or XC90 off of Cherry Hill Volvo's already aggressive pricing. Visit today. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill. Tell them you heard about them on 1210 WPHT. Again, I'll say it for the third time this week. We couldn't do what we do without our sponsors. If you hear an ad read by one of us or just on the radio, on our radio shows, on our radio station, please patronize them. Or at least call them up and just say thank you for supporting 1210 WPHT. We really appreciate it if you can't use their services. That's all I'm saying.
Well said.
Right? Thank you.
I agree.
Oh, God, where do I start? There's just so much here. Should we start with story time with Kamala Harris?
You can never go wrong starting with the Veep.
She's told this story many times before. We've decided that she gets it wrong, but it's just the way she tells it and the way she talks to people like they're children, like she's talking to children. It's just so infuriating.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Sit back, ladies and gentlemen, or if you're driving right now on the Schuylkill Expressway, don't sit back because that would be dangerous. But enjoy a story time with our Vice President, Kamala Harris. This is Cut 9.
You know that old story about the two frogs in the pots of water? Okay, so here, you're a good storyteller. I'm going to tell you a quick story. So 2 frogs and 2 pots of water. So in one pot of water, you drop the frog in, and you slowly turn up the heat. And that frog will be like, oh, it's getting a little warm in here.
A little bit.
And then that water starts to boil, and that frog perishes. In the other pot of water, you turn up the heat to the point it's boiling. You drop the frog in it, it'll jump right out. Let's not be that first frog.
Right, you never want to be the first frog. You might get quick third-degree burns if you're the second frog, but the first frog gets actually murdered and boiled alive, like a lobster at the Red Lobster. You take it right from the tank, you put it into the water, it steams, it screams, and then kaboom, in 28 minutes it's on your plate.
Oh, my God.
Story time with Aunt Kamala.
I just want more cameras on the entire audience as she's telling the story.
Amen.
Right? Just to see the expression, because people are like, oh, my God.
We should install Kayal and Company car cams for the cut sheet. Let's go to a random guy in a Subaru on the Kayal and Company car cam. He just drove off the Schuylkill.
Kamala Harris was interviewed by WFMZ in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
Nick and I know that radio station, or that TV station, well. And Dawn mentioned that they're one of the only independent TV stations,
family-owned TV stations in the nation.
Yeah. The reporter from, by the way, they're from the Lehigh Valley. The reporter from WFMZ asked, "Are people right to be concerned about Joe Biden's age?"
Fair question.
Great question, right?
Yes.
Kamala Harris doesn't answer it.
Okay.
She answers another question that she finds better. Cut 10.
2 very prominent Washington Post articles today talking about President Biden's age, and that's a big concern among the young voters. And in growing poll numbers, that's a big concern. Are people right to be concerned about his age at this point?
Well, let me just say this. When I talk to these young voters, what they want is a leader who is in touch with the problems of today and has a vision for what we can do today and in the future to deal with it. President Biden is the first president to take on in any substantial way the issue of the climate crisis.
We don't care about the climate.
Thank you, Tony Bruno. Thank you. Tony B. still with us, apparently.
Wow, okay.
So you get asked a question, that was Wendy Davis from WFMZ. I believe she does like the 5 o'clock news on that channel, if I remember. So you get asked a legitimate question that most Americans will have a thought on one way or the other. Is Joe too old? And you just immediately, it's almost like she just didn't even hear the question. Maybe we should do like a segment where we play the question that Kamala gets asked, and then that's all what we hear. And then we play like a dubious question that was what Kamala is actually processing from an auditory standpoint. What does the climate have to do with Joe's age? Which, by the way, I have a Kamala climate crisis story.
Wow, say that 10 times fast.
Post-cut sheet.
Wow, very nice. So there you go. Kamala Harris answering the questions. How do you, let me just, in Kamala's defense, and trust me, I will never defend her, but in Kamala's defense, how do you answer that question, Nick Kayal? If you are her, what do you say? Do voters have a right to be concerned about Joe Biden's age? What do you say?
I would just sit there and say, look at what Joe has accomplished. I'd rattle off a bunch of
lies,
left-wing lies, and say Joe is absolutely at a position where he's going to run, and if reelected or when reelected, Joe will complete his second term at the age of 86.
Shelley on the YouTube chat writes, it's not his age, it's his mental health.
Correct.
Like the mental health should be the question, not the age.
Yep. Which, by the way, again, just to really nail Kamala here for just completely ducking out of that, that would be like Greg coming to me after the show and saying, hey, I had a question for something that you mentioned in the big take. on parental rights, and I start answering it by talking about Nick Castellanos and the Phillies. Has nothing to do with what you just asked me.
Which by the end of the show, you're so woozy sometimes you might.
Right. That's correct. Which is why I take the nap.
Yeah, I know.
We get it.
It's been 24 hours and we haven't mentioned the nap yet. So
coming up,
Dawn and I are slinging hash, and you're sleeping.
Yep. Like Joe.
When I mean slinging hash, it's a term. It doesn't mean anything with drugs.
Thank you for that clarification.
No problem.
We don't have time for drugs.
Yesterday, the House Judiciary Committee, led by Chairman Jim Jordan, held a hearing for Attorney General Merrick Garland, where he answered a bunch of questions about Hunter Biden, the gun felony charges, the investigation that's being led by David Weiss, all kinds of questions. Representative Thomas Massey asked Garland about suing Elon Musk. You know, there's a DOJ investigation into Musk now. Of
course.
While protecting Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a very good question. Cut 5.
Attorney General Garland, Elon Musk was a Democrat who admittedly supported Biden, but then he became a critic of the administration and exposed the censorship regime. Now, per public reports, the DOJ has opened not one but 2 investigations of Elon Musk. Mark Zuckerberg, on the other hand, spent $400 million in 2020 tilting the elections secretly for Democrats. No investigations whatsoever. To the American public, these look like mafia tactics. You pays your money, we look the other way. You get in our way, we punish you. The American public sees what these tactics are.
Oh, it's done? Okay. Yeah, no, the American public that actually tries to pay attention and get news from all sorts of sources actually knows what's going on. Those that just watch left-wing mainstream media probably have no idea. But this is a theme here. So it's not just Elon Musk, which, by the way, they hate Elon Musk because he is now a free speech absolutist and has restored that to many extents on X. But there's a pattern here. It's not for Zuckerberg, but it's for Elon Musk. It's sweetheart deals for the Bidens. It's go after Trump at all costs. And I'll even add another little tidbit to this weaponized DOJ. Yesterday, it became official in news that the federal government, are going after Vince McMahon over Vince McMahon from the WWE, the owner and CEO, for paying hush money over sex improprieties while he was married to his wife, Linda McMahon, who is also a Republican. And she, I believe she's a Congress lady, or she was in some sort of politics up in the New England area. And it's well known that the McMahons are friends with Trump and Republicans. And to me, when I read this story, it was like no different than the hush money case with Trump and Stormy Daniels, other than the fact that Trump's being prosecuted by a hack in Manhattan named Alvin Bragg, and Vince is being prosecuted by the federal government. Almost the same kind of case.
It does seem like if you're on the wrong side of issues, all of a sudden the DOJ is breathing down your neck. And what's this for Musk? For alleged improprieties he did with Tesla?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. And as you know, and that's the worst part of it, is Elon Musk said that he voted for Joe Biden.
Well, yeah, this whole idea that Elon Musk is like this free speech absolutist and everything, it's a bit overblown.
Okay, you think so?
Yeah.
So you think
there's very few free speech absolutists.
So you think he's really just more of a moderate and kind of an independent?
No, I think that I think he's a businessman, and I think that he enjoys free speech when it benefits him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it. Because to be honest, you're right. He hasn't been a free speech absolutist. Tony Bruno's proof positive of that.
Exactly. There's a lot of people, and there's been alleges that he's been helping the Saudi government with things, and you know what I mean, like where people were prosecuted for and put to death for saying things on Twitter. So I this whole idea that he's this free speech. Just be careful about putting people on pedestals. That's all I'm saying.
He's better than Zuckerberg, but let's not make him like a god.
Yeah. Is he better than? Yes, he's better than Zuckerberg, but just. Be careful.
I called him Zuckerberger again, by the way.
I know you did.
That's all accidental, by the way. Although I might have to copyright that.
He was also asked. This is Merrick Garland, Attorney General. By the way, I'm watching Billions. Are you watching the new season of Billions?
No.
It's so good.
The whole they them like it got I tolerated it, but it got just.
I get you. It's
they're
a good
trying
show,
to like.
Well, we got pronouns in Billions.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And and at first it was okay but then it just was over the top. It's like okay, just can't take it.
But it's a good because you hear that the Paul Giamatti character in Billions is based off of Chris Christie when he was in the Southern District of New York there.
Okay. Really?
Yes. Did you not know that?
No, he
Sloppy
always
Chris Christie.
Every time Chris Christie speaks, he always reminds
me. I know. But just hearing this, like, it's just that there's this inside wrangling going on, and be like, what did this person say? Let's open an investigation into that. They do that all the time.
Yeah,
they do it all the time.
Okay,
and if Hollywood picks up on it because of the writers and the people they have advising from, it's actually going on.
Okay.
AG Garland on whether he talked with anyone at the FBI about the Hunter Biden probe. Very good question, right?
Yep.
Cut 6 here.
Have you had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
I don't recollect the answer to that question.
I don't recollect.
FBI works for the Justice Department. It's.
I'm sorry. You don't recollect. You don't recollect whether you've talked with anybody at FBI headquarters about an investigation into the president's son?
I don't believe that I did.
If I did, I'm misremembering. You talk about a guy, and we just kind of crushed Fauci. You're a doctor, and then you got all this money. If you're an attorney and you've risen to the level of Merrick Garland, and now people look at you like a completely weaponized figurehead going after one political party, and that political party's chief political figurehead in Donald Trump, you look so weak and so embarrassing. Like, it is so blatantly obvious the bias and the favoritism that Garland, David Weiss, and all these other hack attorneys for the government have given to Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
They've let this guy essentially get away with, and I'm using this in air quotes, they've let him get away with murder, and now it's like they're hitting him with like a simple assault charge. It's so obvious.
Jim on the YouTube chat says this season of Billions sucks. I had this discussion, by the way, with our market manager, who also believes that this season of Billions sucks.
Okay.
I disagree. I don't know. I think it's a good show. I think it's the best show that's out there right now.
And how do you consume Billions? What is that on?
It's a Showtime, I think.
Showtime. Okay. So they're not. These are new episodes, not affected by a writer's strike or anything.
Yeah, I'm assuming this season was in the can.
Okay.
Prior. By the way, it looks like they're going to come to an agreement with the writers' strike.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're saying I think it was Scott Galloway that said it on his podcast the other day that they are that he thinks that Drew Barrymore and Bill Maher, by saying they're going to come back anyway, was what made this writer's strike come to an end. And they knew, Drew Barrymore and Bill Maher knew it was coming to an end. That's why they.
So they really weren't going out there and going out on a limb. They had inside knowledge.
I mean, that's just one man's opinion.
Okay.
But it does sound pretty plausible to me.
Well, I know my sister's going to be happy. My sister was texting me yesterday, which, by the way, my sister's pregnant. She's due in the next month. So she's at the, let's just get it over with stage, cranky. Yeah. And she's, texting me about how angry she is. She has no shows to watch because of the writer's strike. And so now my sister will be very happy.
Well, she should just watch her brother.
Well, she does.
On
YouTube. She can only take me in small doses. Much like most women.
Well, that...
Oh, man.
But
mustard.
Let's unpack that. But that's why you said she's looking for a new vehicle, because she's doing that whole nesting mommy thing. You said she'd
have 2 kids now.
Going to Piazza Auto Group, looking for a bigger vehicle.
Yep. A bigger boat.
Since we're here at the top of the hour, for those of you just tuning in, this is the House Judiciary Committee led by Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio, for Attorney General Merrick Garland. They talked about everything from the Hunter Biden probe, that he's been indicted on felony gun charges, to the Jack Smith indictment of Trump to all kinds of other things that the DOJ seems to be up to. This is A.G. Garland on if he discussed the Hunter Biden probe with Special Counsel Weiss. You know, that's the big question here is that, did he discuss this with Weiss? And this is what he said. This is cut 7.
Can you tell us about any briefings or discussions that you personally have had with Mr. Weiss regarding any and all federal investigations of Hunter Biden?
I'm going to say again, I promised the Senate that I would not interfere with Mr. Weiss.
So you have not, so your testimony today is you're not going to tell us whether you've had discussions with Mr. Weiss?
My testimony today is I told the committee that I would not interfere. I made clear that Mr. Weiss would have the authority to bring cases that he thought were appropriate.
Okay.
Mr. Weiss's letter.
Okay, let me stop you. For a second time, sir, are you aware that FBI officials have come before this committee and they have stated that there was a cumbersome bureaucratic process that Mr. Weiss had to go through to bring charges in another judicial district? You know that?
I'm not aware, but that's not true. There's nothing cumbersome about the process.
So this is a guy who has no recollection of any discussions with the FBI in regards to the president's son, and he will not give you an answer here where, did you have conversations with David Weiss? Oh, well, the answer is yes, because you appointed him and made him special counsel, so you can take it to the bank that they've had conversations. But I love how everything is tight-lipped and secretive when it comes to investigations into the Democrat or Hunter Biden specifically in this case. But everything gets posted prematurely with Trump. And I know this is federal versus local. Fulton County just somehow randomly posted the indictment before the charges came back.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
You know, it's amazing. There's never these mishaps with Democrats.
It's just a coincidence,
Just a
Nick.
dink. Staggering. And by the way, it's beautiful seeing an attorney under the hot lights being cross-examined or whatever that setting would be qualified as and squirm like a little baby in a chair. When usually it's the attorney that does that to somebody that doesn't know how to handle themselves when they're testifying under oath.
Heaven 01, Nick, this is off topic. He wants to know, or they want to know, it's supposed to rain all day Saturday. What did you decide to do with your girls?
Let's see. Saturday.
Well, I sent you the GPCC
Yes,
stuff.
we might do that. Spa day for sure. They're having a spa day. By the way, there's this product that I'm getting them for their birthday. I hope they're not listening right now. They're probably not. They're listening to Taylor Swift.
They're at school.
They're at school, hopefully. There's this new stuff called Sephora. Dawn, do you know what Sephora is?
Oh my gosh. It's
Really?
not new.
Really, dude?
Oh my!
It's this
You're embarrassing
Daniel
yourself.
and Anthony, get ready to clip this for a post later.
It's this new stuff.
It's not new.
News
new to
me.
you.
Well, it's news to me.
Gosh.
So I go over
Where
to
did you grow up? Like
in
did,
the
you grow up
woods.
did you grow up under a rock or
Yes,
something?
I watched Married with Children and played sports. So there's this Kohl's has certain sections, and I was talking to Kristen, and she's like, "You got to go into a Kohl's, look for the Sephora section." I'm like, "What's the Sephora section?" And she's like, "It's like the cologne section at a Macy's or a perfume section."
Auntie Erin, you need to help out your bro.
I was just gonna say that.
Yes,
I was just gonna say that you need help with
and
this.
your nieces.
So I go in there yesterday, or it was 2 days ago, and
there's these things called bras. Have
Yes.
either of you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
There's these new things called bras.
It's like all these facial creams and masks. And so my daughters want this one and then they want that one. So I said to Kristen, I'm like, why don't I just wait? When they get here Friday, I'll take them, let them pick them out. Here's your budget. This is what you can get. I don't care what you buy. You just got to stay under X amount of dollars. And I'm just going through it and I'm looking at some of the prices and I'm like, do my 9-year-old daughters need this? Like, this is like Kardashian stuff.
Dawn, I would say no. But
Dawn, you better keep your mouth closed.
Do his 9-year-old daughters need stuff from Sephora?
Don't we have like a Hand and Stone sponsorship or something?
We
with
do.
her?
I've already talked about that down the hall. And
Yeah.
I've never gotten anywhere with it. They don't want
Because
to
Hand and
Really?
Yeah.
But
you go to you get massages and whatnot.
Well, you
and
need
then
to involve me in this stuff.
Yeah.
Seriously.
My apartment complex is having a spa day on Saturday, complimentary for all tenants. And it's from 10 to 11:30. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. They want this Sephora stuff. I'm going to give them that on Friday. And then I'll just take them downstairs into the cafe conference room area where they have all these types of things for tenants and let them have their spa day from 10 to 11:30. It was beautiful. And it doesn't cost me a damn thing.
For 9-year-olds, though? I don't know, man.
If it's free, it's for me.
Okay.
But for
I feel it's-
the reason I said like Hand and Stone on a serious note, because I have a monthly membership with them. So whether it's a sports massage for even for my boys or but they also, it's a great, more holistic way to teach the girls about thinking about, self-care.
Oh, yes.
Products,
Which I'm all for.
but not
Chiropractic and massage.
but not the makeup.
Right.
So lotions and things that are more natural.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
not all the makeup stuff and that selfie era where the girls are
Oh.
wearing fake lashes at
Yep.
a young age, and
Yeah.
it's all about their looks
Oh,
rather than their
they already
content.
want
or
they already
character.
want the fake nails.
No,
Yeah.
don't do that.
I've lost that battle. But like they want that. They love the spa day with like the foot massage and the pedicure and the hand massage.
See, that's good.
Yeah.
Because that's like taking care of
Uh-huh.
yourself. But if they can, because your natural nail, those fake nail, don't put the fake nails on.
Right. And by the way, Valdez said, I don't know who Bella is. I guess it's his girlfriend. She works at Hand and Stone. So
there you go.
Yeah, Valdez, what are we doing here, man? What do I got to do for like a 60-minute massage?
Hang on. What's he got to do for a 60-minute massage, there, buddy?
They're expensive, man. With tip, it's like $100.
That's what I'm saying.
She does facials.
She does the facials.
Oh.
The best.
I can take that in a lot of different directions, but
Stop! That's his girl. That's
Yeah.
the love of his.
I know. When he comes on, she goes, "Oh, she does facials." Well, thanks.
Aw.
I'm not
I didn't
against
think
that.
I didn't think you were gonna go
No,
that
no.
way.
I'm not against that.
He's very immature, Daniel.
I am one of these guys that has no problem getting a pedicure and my feet done. Like, oh, you're not man. It feels great, buddy. I'm telling you.
Well, it
get
doesn't
done.
help that you wear flip flops.
And that's another reason why I need it.
But what I'm saying is, if you think about someplace like Hand and Stone, where Bella, beautiful Bella,
Great Bella,
right? Bella means beautiful. So she's going to talk to the girls about you got to take care of yourself and think about taking care of your hands and your nails and your body and all of that. And so that's really a great message for any kid, especially a girl.
Yep.
But boys too.
All right, as the program director and me,
Okay, shut up.
let's get back to the issues.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, this is the cut sheet in case you're just tuning in to Kayal and Company.
Donald Trump, he held a rally yesterday in Iowa, and we played clips of both the Kristen Welker interview from Meet the Press and the Megyn Kelly interview over the last couple of days into last week. And no surprise, he attacked both of them. He called Megyn Kelly nasty for that interview. This is
like Janet Jackson,
exactly.
nasty.
This is cut 11, Daniel.
I think Joe Biden does that? The quotes from a group of people. We'll take some questions. I did Meet the Press this weekend. They got fantastic ratings. I call it Meet the Fake Press. And they had fantastic rating. And it was one question after another, and went through his whole hour. And Kristen Welker, and she was, nice, although kept interrupting me because she wasn't loving some of the answers I was giving, But you loved the answers I was giving. But the beautiful thing, they said, I sat down for an hour, and then I did a Megyn Kelly one, and she had, she became nastier all of a sudden. She was pretty nasty, didn't you think? Anybody that watched it. But they both asked many questions, many questions, and I could have gone on for hours, but, there's a period of time, and you say, that's it. So they had like an hour. They had an hour and a half. And it would be, I think, 32 questions on 32 different subjects. And Biden can't do that. Biden can't. Maybe one question where he goes, okay, I'll take a question from, wait. I want ABC Ruth. And then she gives him a question, and then he reads the answer. Here's the answer. No, we're this country. We have to get this country
You
straight.
got to see
now.
the
That's
video
not
for
gonna
this,
do-
too, if you're watching along on YouTube.
He's looking at the binder. He
Yeah.
pulled a Korean Jean-Pierre
He
to
did.
imitate Biden.
Yep.
He looks fabulous.
He looks fine.
Fabulous!
He looks fabulous.
Oh, my God, he's fabulous!
He is. I think part of this is he's on the campaign trail and he's hitting his stride, and he's lost weight, or looks younger, or maybe he just loves this.
So do you think that when he was weighed in at 215, you think he's weighing 215?
248.
Yeah, no, there's no way he's weighing 215.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always 215 for God's sakes.
He wasn't 215 in the 90s.
To answer the questions, though, the Welker thing is annoying because it was very reminiscent to some extent of Caitlin Collins. Like, wait a minute.
No, she didn't interrupt that much, Nick.
No, just like the to his point where
The tone.
with the interrupt, but you're interviewing somebody. Can you let that, whether you like the answer, whether it's truthful or not? And I don't know do you think Welker had somebody in her ear like Collins did? Okay.
Nope.
But
because it wasn't live.
It was just a pet peeve of mine when I was on sports radio for many years, and there were older hosts that I looked up to from the standpoint of trying to learn the business. And one thing I always hated was when the host became combative and argumentative with the guest on an answer, whether you agree with it. Like, the point of having the guest on is for the guest to speak, not you to keep bloviating and interrupting or fact-checking or whatever it is. But then on the Megyn Kelly front, and she does a nice job, but she's one of the few people that I feel like she's got the angry CNN female look on her face all the time. You ever notice that? Like, there's only one person on Fox that annoys me with the face. It's Laura Ingraham. But Megyn Kelly's got that, like, Dana Bash, I'm just miserable at life.
No,
I hate
not
the world
that
look.
miserable.
I never seen Megyn
Dana's
Kelly
resting
smile.
face.
She's
it's
got
like,
RBF, yes.
Right? Like her, I don't even know how she does that U shape with her mouth. It's like, it's just like it's crazy.
That's what happens when you
Dana,
marry John King.
right? She's just like so unhappy.
Right.
That resting face, wow.
I don't know. Megan just seems very unpleasant.
Okay, I'm going to say this about Megyn Kelly, that she is she an attorney? I believe she's an attorney, right?
Yep.
So she is tough.
Yeah.
She's really tough.
Wired a certain way.
And so when you look at her, she has, and I don't think that's all her real hair. She has the hair extensions.
Right.
They're all very long.
Yeah.
And she has this look of being feminine, but man, is she tough. She's a ball buster, that one.
Yeah.
And so I think it's more her actual personality.
Okay.
My feeling is if you met her, whatever that is, she's ba 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 ba, and she talks fast, and it's her personality.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think she's miserable.
Okay.
That's whether you like her style or not. She was always like that. Bah, 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 and she talks really fast.
Yeah.
And she's quick-witted. But also with Megyn Kelly, she knows she's not on Fox. She's not a star anymore like she was.
She's relegated to
on
satellite.
Fox,
Yeah.
right? And so she knows she's got to make some hits. She's got to say some things and get the reaction and promote herself.
Probably gets more play based off of the YouTube version of her show than the actual live satellite version.
Yes.
Because
Is it live?
I think her actual show on satellite is live. I just don't think anybody listens to it. I mean, I don't know how you find it.
Yeah, I don't know how you find it either. And I have satellite radio. I have no idea how you find it.
Yeah.
But I thought at least Megyn Kelly's show, unlike Kristen Welker, her first day, look, it was her first day out, and she was a little nervous. But I did not think that Kristen Welker was disrespectful.
Okay.
Maybe you disagree, but I felt like she kept saying, Mr. President, let's just stay. I want to know what you think. She was trying to bring him back. And so maybe that's just my take or my bias because I know Kristen. Okay, well, yeah, 'cause she was here for years, and at NBC 10. So maybe that's I'm hoping and praying that she's less biased than the others.
Gotcha.
That they don't turn her to the dark side.
Trump in Iowa also went after Ron DeSantis, which is another one of his favorite.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Ron has always been a loser.
He does. It's one of his favorite. And there was a new poll show that in New Hampshire, he just dropped like 5th or something like that. So
it's staggering.
I can't. I mean, I don't even know why he's punching down anymore. He should just literally just go after Joe Biden.
I actually have the numbers right here, and I saw that come out yesterday. Let me see here.
Well, let me
play
the
the audio.
This is cut 2, Daniel.
They want to see a well-run country. That's what women want, and we're doing great with everybody now. We're doing great with everybody. In yesterday's morning console poll, I'm 46 points, not 46 points, but 46 points up not just at 46. Most people would be very happy to have 46. No, I'm 46 up in the primary and beating Biden in the general election, while DeSantis is losing. Ron DeSantis is losing. You see the NBC the other day? They said, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to interview Governor Ron DeSantis. He said, no, my name is DeSantis. Well, he actually changed it. DeSantis, right? He changed his name. I said, never change your name in the middle of a campaign. Bad. But here in Iowa, I'm up over 37 points on DeSantis, 51-14. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Wow.
And Caitlin Collins tweeted this yesterday at 4:08 p.m. In a just-released CNN University of New Hampshire poll, DeSantis has dropped 13 points since July's survey. He's now at 10% among likely GOP primary voters. Trump is the first choice at 39%, Vivek Ramaswamy 13%, Nikki Haley 12%, Chris Christie 11%, DeSantis 10%. Folks, Ron DeSantis is in 5th within his own primary right now. That is the sports equivalent of being last place in the NFC East. That's like he's the Washington Commanders, and he's looking up at the Eagles, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Cardinals. It's over for DeSantis. And I'll even go this far. I'll even say this.
No votes have been cast yet, guys.
For him.
I'm telling you, you are correct. But it's not, no votes have been cast yet.
My question is now, is he salvageable for a redemption tour in 2028? Or did he blow it? Did he shoot his you-know-what this time around, and he will not even have a chance in 2028? That's where I'm at right now with him. I'm just wondering out loud.
Man, I'll tell you what, in the scheme of life, I would never want Donald J. Trump to give me a nickname.
No.
Because you know what? It sticks.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And
He's very good at it, too.
Wow.
I mean, there's some, we'll just call them trash talkers that you don't want to get into a trash talking beef with because you know they're quick-witted and they're going to verbally have you in their palm of their hands. When Trump does that to you, you know you're in the crosshairs, and it's going to your point, it will stick.
And it's even on like DuckDuckGo or on Google. Ron DeSantis sends people to the dictionary. People are actually looking up to see if DeSantis is a word. And you know what's going to happen.
Yes.
It's going to be like the next year we'll be going, and the word of 2023, it's a new word, DeSantis.
DeSantis.
Yep.
Yes, you're 100% right.
And you mentioned, too, I mentioned earlier, with him in Iowa and handing out pizza to people, and that's why he resonates with common folks and stuff like that. But it's also the fact that Trump's a loudmouth. He's a trash talker. Like, these are the things that are appealing. Forget the policies. Forget the fact that he's taking on the estate. It's the stuff that you typically would not expect from a presidential candidate or a president, where it's like, oh, man, this guy, he just says whatever he wants. Yeah. And he's just going there. I mean, he's picking up a binder, imitating Joe Biden. In the history of politics, we've never seen that before.
Yeah.
The presentation is off the chart.
You mentioned, I've been sitting on this for a few days, and now's the perfect time to bring it up. Remember Vivek Ramaswamy?
Of course.
Ramaswamy.
No, I'm saying that as a joke because nobody's been talking about him over the last couple of weeks. All of these polls showing that he's unfavorable and he's annoying is the one criticism about this.
I agree.
This was him on the Sunday shows over the weekend. Cut 8, Daniel.
To where we are now, I think we're on track to win this election.
So your profile is growing, but as it does, our polling also shows your unfavorables are up. This is the latest polling, up 12 points since we polled this in August. One recent opinion piece puts it this way. Of all the descriptors attached to Vivek Ramaswamy, the 38-year-old political tyro enjoying a bizarre surge in the Republican primary race for second place, the most common one seems to be annoying. Why do you think, as more people have gotten to know you, your unfavorables are up too?
Well, look, we have been taking intense criticism, Shannon, over the last several weeks since I performed well on that second debate. And this is part of the process. So I invite the open debate. The reality is many people are annoyed by my rise and believe that a 38-year-old is too young to be U.S. president. The fact of the matter is Thomas Jefferson was 33 years old when he wrote the U.S. Declaration of Independence. He also invented the swivel chair while he was at it, by the way. And so
See, that's
I
what
think
makes
we
him
need
annoying.
to revive that spirit. Right. And I believe, Shannon, it will take someone whose best days ahead are still yet ahead in life to see a country whose best days are still yet ahead of itself. And I do believe that the United States of America can see our best days still yet ahead. But we can't just be running from something. I don't criticize, actually, the radical Biden agenda that much because I think it's the wrong place to focus. Of course, there's a lot to criticize, but we have to offer a vision of our own.
Okay.
So a lot like Trump, he can talk and talk and talk, but Trump just shoots from the hip. It feels authentic and unscripted. Vivek is one of these guys, and I've mentioned this in the past months on the show. Oh, there's not an interview, a TV camera that this guy will ever turn down. He loves the spotlight. But he's one of the guys, and you heard him with that explanation there mid-conversation. People don't like the smartest guy in the room.
Exactly.
People don't like when you try to tell people you're the smartest guy in the room.
You are 100% right.
And he comes off a little too polished, a little too smart, a little too clean. And I like him. So I'm not but this is my observation of what I think other people think of him.
Yes. That clip in there where he says, and he also invented the swivel chair. And there's it's stuff like that it's like, okay, dude,
yes.
like, we get it.
See, that's
You're
why
brilliant.
people
like,
think
we're
he's
yes.
annoying. Yeah, that's why people love me, because I get things wrong like ran versus run. That makes me relatable.
Air conditioning was invented in 1987.
Right. That's what builds and resonates with people, and what he says and does, that's where you're like, I'm going to keep my distance.
Yeah.
But I think Vivek Ramaswamy for the future I think he has a long, healthy, good future.
I do too.
In the GOP. He just, he's the rookie, and did anybody think he would last as long as he has? And right, he's held his own, even in the debates. Did he get spanked by Nikki Haley on stage over his world view? Right? Yeah. Did Chris Christie with that chat
GPT line?
Yeah. That was a great line by Chris Christie.
Yep.
So he got spanked a little bit, but that's okay. Then he's earning his chops.
He's really dipped a little bit since the Ari Melber back and forth that we played for you a few weeks ago.
It wasn't Ari Melber. It was
Mehdi Hassan.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of the MSNBC
Who's that
guys.
hack loser?
Yeah.
That hack loser took him down, Dawn.
He did. It was a hit
took
job.
him down.
Total hit job.
Dawn, it was a hit job that he was fact checking him. He was literally reading from words that he wrote, and Vivek Ramaswamy was saying, "No, I never wrote that." It was fact checked. He was wrong. He should have just owned what he said. I'm not saying I'm not a Mehdi Hassan fan. Trust me, far from it. But he looked terrible, meaning Vivek Ramaswamy in that
It was
interview.
the first time he was really had in a conversation.
Yeah, because
which happens. I mean, when you talk,
things were being taken out of context, and it was just media bias by omission. If you go back to it,
he was reading his own words to him.
Yeah, but he would. All right,
he was. He criticized Trump in his book in a Wall Street Journal op-ed. He did all this, and now he's like, and then he tried to distance himself from it or say he never said it, which was a lie. He should have just owned it.
Although nobody saw it coming. If you would have said back in January, hey, I bet you come September, Vivek Ramaswamy will be ahead of DeSantis in polls, we all would have laughed. By the way, hasn't been sober on Twitter. Ramaswamy isn't as annoying as $4 a gallon for gas.
Thank you.
And Newman Price says DeSantis can turn it all around if he talks more about mustard.
Mustard.
Speaking of $4 a gallon gas, Ron DeSantis yesterday was speaking, and he said that this was part of a bigger package, but I just wanted to play this clip. He says that he promises $2 a gallon gasoline by 2025. Cut one.
I think we can definitely get under 3 and towards 2. And the reality is we're going to have a very favorable environment for this.
While DeSantis acknowledged climate disasters are, quote, problematic.
There you go.
It's very simple. Drill, baby, drill. That's the only way we're going to get under 3 and work our way towards 2. I think that's long gone. Remember, under Trump, on average, gas was $2.39 a gallon. I think all of us would kill for $2.95.
To be fair, the economy and political, how presidents spend or don't spend does contribute. But the president itself does not have direct implications on the price of gas.
That's true.
This whole thing, like, you can take credit for it when it's under your watch because that's what presidents do, as they should. But they don't what they do or say doesn't really affect the price of gasoline.
But I think it's the totality of our daily expenditures, whether it's gas, whether it's energy prices for heating and cooling our home, or grocery store prices. That's very reflective, collectively over an administration. Tennessee Senator yesterday, Marsha Blackburn, who actually used to live about 10 miles from me, although her house had a couple of zeros after it. She says the reality of Bidenomics, gas is up 64.55%, energy is up 43.38%, and groceries are up 20.47%. The reality of Bidenomics.
I'm just going to say this. I would have agreed with what Greg said before Trump. But
he proved it was possible.
That was Trump. The fact that his and this is his skill set as far as the art. It goes back to the art of the deal. So, in other words, bringing the jobs back that Obama said those jobs are never coming back. Guess what? Trump, through just what you said, he held those news conferences. He held everybody's feet to the fire and said, "Keep the jobs here." And he did all of that. But he also, and we were there, Greg Stocker, when he was fighting for the deal between Mexico and Canada. And that was a great deal. Biden undid, look at his first 10 days in office. My God, a record executive orders. And with Biden, it was all about, it was like being mad at an ex. I mean, Biden's first 10 days of office, just executive order, just trying to unwind and undo all the good things for the economy that Trump did. And Trump putting China's feet to the fire and trying to make sure that we had a fair deal. And so I'm just going to say this: Trump did a ton to help every business, not just corporate America, like they say. But you talk to anybody who owns a business is pro-Trump, right?
It's amazing what a president can do if they have a business background and they're business savvy.
Yep.
Whether it's directly or through some policies or reversing course of another administration or whatever it might be. Fascinating.
Oh, we should break and then come back.
All right. 8:29, that'll do it for round one of the cut sheet. What's on the cut sheet part 2 coming up at 9:35. We'll come back and get to Dawn's Big 3 at 8 after this as we continue live on Kayal & Company. But first, let me tell you about my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. As you guys know, I just leased a 2023 Honda Ridgeline from the great folks at the Springfield location, Piazza Honda. And if you're a truck person like me, or maybe you've never had a truck and you're thinking about the weather coming up in the winter and you want something that's going to be tough and rigorous through the bad weather that we get here in the Delaware Valley, now's the perfect time to visit Piazza Honda. You can go to the location I went to, Springfield, or Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading to take advantage of 0.9% APR financing or get special finance rates on the Honda Civic, the Accord, the CRV, the Pilot, and more. The Piazza Auto Group, 17 different brands. My sister is now entertaining the idea of one of those brands, that being a Range Rover, at one of their 35 locations. It's my go-to for all things automotive. It's Dawn's, soon to be my sister's as well. To check out their new or certified pre-owned vehicles today, shop their online inventory right now. What are you waiting for? PiazzaAutoGroup.com.
Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. I love the FanDuel app. It's so easy. It's so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, so much more. I gave you, if you were listening, in the 6 and 7 o'clock hour, I gave you my props for tonight's San Francisco 49ers, New York Giants game that you can hear right here on 1210 WPHT. So go back on the Odyssey app if you want to listen to that. FanDuel.com/Greg to sign up right now. FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL and is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, President PA. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Oh, how great it would feel to have your 20-year-old knees, shoulders, hips, and back.
You know, you don't think about your pains when you're in your 20s or 30s, but you wish you could get that body back when you're in your 60s. I think QC did that for me.
For Patrick, it started with a simple phone call to QC Kinetics.
One day I was driving and I just heard the radio and I pulled over and took the number and I called them when I got home.
Maybe that's you, and you're listening right now. Why wait? QC Kinetics Regenerative Treatments uses your body's own natural biologics to heal and restore damaged tissue without invasive surgery or harmful drugs. And as for the results,
my knees are as good as they were when I was in my 20s. I'm really happy with what happened.
For Patrick, it's like QC Kinetics turned back the clock. Now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Oh, my Bob. You gotta feel these pillows.
Oh, my Bob. It's comfy and has cup holders.
Oh, my Bob. New everyday low prices on already low prices.
Oh, my Bob. We can finally afford a grown-up bedroom.
Oh, my Bob. No hovering salespeople.
Oh, my Robert. What, too formal?
When you don't have to compromise on style, quality, or price, there's only one thing to say.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You got to do something for you. I want you to do this, and I want you to call QC Kinetics today because it's a game changer. You got to live again. That chronic joint pain, it's keeping you down. And you can do this without surgery. That's the key difference here, and that's the key point. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They're going to take your body's own concentrated healing properties and then put them directly into your joint, your aching joint. That it's going to restore and it's going to repair that damaged tissue inside your aching joint. And this is causing all of your horrible pain. Now you can heal. The patient satisfaction reports are just astonishing. Finally, this is a real alternative to the so-called old ways of dealing with pain. This is not surgery. There's no downtime with QC treatments. It's not invasive. It's not surgery. No drugs. So if you're suffering in that constant pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, or your back, you just need to call, get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. And imagine right now you're moving around pain-free, doing everything you love to do. Just call QC Kinetics. Don't say no, say yes. QC Kinetics, and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine attack your pain, bring you lasting relief. Finally, now's the best time. Get started. They're right here in the Philadelphia region and beyond. Call 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, Riverton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's Kayal Company, 8:36, Thursday morning, doing what we always do, having fun, questioning the answers, answering the questions, talking about all this stuff going on in our universe. 855-839-1210, the phone number. You can get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. This segment sponsored by the Millville Army Airfield Museum. Help honor World War II aviation heritage at Millville Army Airfield in New Jersey. It's America's first defense airport and gunnery school for P-47 Thunderbolt fighter pilots. Admission is free. Schedule a group tour online at p47millville.org and become a member now. We got a lot of good stuff coming up, including just about an hour and 15 minutes from now, 9:50. Once again, your chance for a free trip to Walt Disney World. Just be listening at 9:50. We're going to give you a keyword. You just go to 1210wpht.com, enter that keyword, and you are officially entered and registered for a free trip, potentially to be the winner to Walt Disney World. We've been doing it every single morning at 9:50 here on Kayal and Company for the month of September. All right, we've got some really good stories coming up. A few in the world of COVID. Also, a claim made by Kamala Harris on climate anxiety. And also, AOC gets fact-checked on climate change. We'll get to that. And also, this is a great one because we've talked a lot about the value or the overpriced cost, the ridiculous tuition fees and rates in colleges lately. And we've always tried to give you, alternatives to that. Wait till you hear what UPS drivers make. You're going to it really puts the Matt DeSantis Harvard education into serious light here. We'll get to that coming up in just a couple of minutes. But before all of that, let's get some news. It is time for Dawn Stensland's Big 3 at 8.
It's the Big 3 at 8 on Kayal and Company.
As we look toward the Fed and what that means for interest rates, a lot of economic news, I'll just remind you that on the September 21st, as we are sponsored, by the way, by United Tire, it's day 7 of the UAW strike, historic strike of the Big 3. And so they're announcing layoffs as those negotiations continue. So both GM and UAW announcing that, yes, they are still negotiating, looking toward some kind of an agreement, but UAW members continuing to walk the picket line at 3 different facilities. So they've never done this before. Each day, they kind of choose, where are we going to strike today? Because they have 147,000 union workers across America. Mm-hmm. It's like a pop-up strike, sort of.
Yeah. I'm not any sort of expert on the history of strikes and unions by any stretch, but between the auto workers and the writers union for TV shows, have we ever had 2 very big, prominent groups kind of taking the stand simultaneously? Off the top of my head, I can't recall, but just kind of thinking out loud here. Maybe somebody in the YouTube chat or Twitter will let us know, but fascinating times.
Yeah, and to your point, it's historic on many levels, but the UAW, and this is really, I don't know, is it a game of chicken? I mean, the president, Sean Fain, now he's set a 10 a.m. deadline for Friday where they're going to announce the next striking facilities. And so I think also what they're negotiating is not just what the union workers can make and what they can get. I think they're negotiating with a president and with Democrats versus Republicans, saying, hey, we've got the power here. We've got 150,000 people. Mm-hmm. We're not feeling the love.
Yep.
And you know what? Trump, he's shown us the love in the past. Art of the deal, we think the Republicans, we can get more out of them. Joe Biden, you say you're the union president? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah? Well, prove it.
Right. And both sides are aware, to your point. Even Fetterman's been, for what it's worth, Fetterman's been, getting involved in that conversation. So it is a sizable group of people with power and influence, and certainly from an election standpoint, we know, because they're tied in most polls now, that could go a long way. Good point.
Yeah, I mean, so I just think it's worth a headline as we think about economic news and all that.
Yep.
We're looking at speaking of that, accountability, transparency. We talk about this a lot. I know that there's some sort of a town hall meeting just about guns with the mayoral candidates, and that's happening today. So this is Sherelle Parker, who's a Democrat, David O., who's a Republican. This is specifically talking about guns. We're very proud of our sibling station, our sister station, KYW News Radio, has so far the only overall meeting and debate that KYW News Radio is going to host with the mayoral candidates. But today there's this town hall about guns with these candidates and gun control and all of that. I wonder if Sheriff Rochelle Bilal is going to come up in all of this, because we're hearing that the sheriff is being given some kind of a deadline to say you have 185 firearms unaccounted for. We've seen corruption in the past. Some of these guns went missing. Some of them have shown up in shootings and homicides. And so I'll be curious, and we will follow up for sure tomorrow after all these meetings. Will they bring up and hold accountability as far as Mayor Jim Kenney and Sheriff Bilal?
Oh, yeah, we're in good hands. Jim's going to take care of it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Number 3, a case for Batman. So do bats we talk about bats and the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Do bats hold the key to curing cancers?
Oh, boy.
I love this story.
Okay.
So the story is that bats have this amazing immune system, because we had always heard that maybe bats had something to do with the coronavirus, or was it created in a lab?
Right.
But now there are new studies and research identifying all these different genes in bats that can suppress tumors, cancerous tumors, and that the bats have this way to resist cancer better than any other, because they are a mammal. They have a better way to resist cancer than any other mammal. And there are breakthrough studies now on bats. Maybe they were looking at the bats in COVID, and they also discovered this.
Okay.
I don't have that information, but bats live long lifespans, did you know, and the equivalent of 200 years. And they rarely, if ever, get cancer.
Bats live for 200 years?
Well, it's the equivalent. It's like my dog Buddy is 100.
Okay.
So they're saying the equivalent.
Oh, Buddy's 100.
Oh, he's 14, 15 years old, but I'm young and healthy, and he's a swinger. He's a. I'm just teasing. No, he's really healthy.
Buddy
he gets
swings.
out there, No,
does his
but
thing.
Seriously, I just thought that was a great study. Researchers looking at the complete set of genes of 2 different bat species: the Jamaican fruit bat and the Mesoamerican bat, the mustache bat.
The mustache bat.
The mustache bat and the Jamaican bat.
We might have to put in box 3 the mustache bat, and then in box 4 on YouTube the Fetterman stash, and we'll compare stashes.
But I thought that was a pretty cool study, and we always want to hope to cure all these different cancers. We are sponsored today by United Tire, sponsoring some of the different headlines. We go beyond the headlines and beyond some of the top stories that you're going to see. And we just love our Philly sports teams, as you know, just as much as they love us, cheering them on. Same goes for the great team over at United Tire. The owners making customer satisfaction their top priority, working with you to get you back on the road faster. So when it comes to car service, trust United Tire, and that's our big 3.
Dawn, thank you very much. 855-839-1210 is how you climb in. So, we've talked a lot about, college tuition rates on this show, and certainly you have the Biden student loan bailout story that we have discussed multiple times over the last 10 months on this show, whether it was going to go into effect or whether it was unconstitutional. Does Biden have the power? How does he brand it? What's it fall under? And, Greg and I we've talked about, go to community college your first 2 years, save money. We've looked at Temple's tuition versus, the other private schools in Philadelphia, and certainly mentioned the elites like Harvard, and, our own Matt DeSantis is a Harvard guy. And he's also, what's the other Johns Hopkins, all these high priced, tuitions. And we've also talked about trade schools and alternatives. And this story, and I figured they did relatively well. And this actually plays into some of the union conversation that we were just having with some of those strikes. But the UPS drivers today, without college degrees, nothing more than high school diplomas, can earn a weekly paycheck of $2,400 for a 49-hour work week, which the UPS drivers are saying organize or get exploited. This is remarkable. There was a photo. This story's from the New York Post, and the photo of the purported UPS staffer's pay stub from the week of August 27th showed that the unidentified person with the handle on social media worthless drug abuser, made $44.95 per hour for his 40-hour work week. So he's making $45 an hour, Monday through Friday, so to speak, 8 to 5, 9 to 5. And then with 9 hours of overtime, time and a half, you would assume, $67.42 per hour. Before taxes, net earnings totaled $2,412.92. And this guy, who's making a killing driving a brown truck, says, quote, if you're college educated with experience in your field making less than I am, you're getting effed. The message was posted days after the unionized UPS workers, represented by Teamsters, ratified a 5-year contract that raised full and part-time pay by $2.75 more per hour in 2023 and up to $7.50 more per hour over the length of the contract, which now means the new deal for a full-time delivery driver for UPS will make an average of $170,000 per year.
That is true. I've known UPS drivers. We had a news person on the station many years ago. His husband drove for UPS. He always made a great living. But I don't think you start out as a driver. I think you apply to be work at UPS. You start in the facility. You start in the facility. You do that, and then like years later, you probably can work your way up to driver.
It depends. My dad at one point, when he was in between jobs and laid off, and he worked for UPS, jumped right into it, and was, because I think if you are, it depends. If you're a college age professional and you come in, you have a great driving record. Like, I think it does depend on the person.
Okay.
If you start out young, but you can make just amazing money. I think it depends.
It says here the average of $170,000, including benefits, come 2024, and $25,000 more than before the contract negotiations were settled. Quote, the working world could use more transparency like this, another person commented, adding, the more wage and salary info is out there for the public to see.
Oh, I agree with that.
The more fair market value there will be.
I agree with that.
One woman in social work, which is what my wife has her degree in, shared that she has 2 master's degrees and the highest level of a professional license and an additional national certification in her specific subspecialty and another certification that separates me from the competition. However, I still don't break 6 figures, while her husband, who works in construction and, quote, barely has a high school diploma but has 40 years plus experience, makes double what I do, high 6 figures. So this is really a remarkable story. And like I'll tell you what, if I knew I could get in driving a truck, like that would be my go-to right away once I get whacked in radio. Because what's better than driving around in that truck, listening to music or sports or talk?
It's a very demanding job.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying it's easy.
You have to stop and get out, and a lot of those packages are heavy. And
get good exercise though while you're working.
You have to deal with averting. It's like a video game, averting carjackers if you're in Philly, biting dogs.
There's an expiration date on that too.
Yeah.
Like roofers and contract workers and stuff like that who do physical jobs. You can't do that when you're 60 years old.
Right.
So yeah, it's a good job for you if you're young and fit, or relatively young. But there's an expiration date on it.
Of course.
This is. So they remember, and we reported this at the time, and this was a month ago, that the UPS drivers reached that 5-year contract deal with they're represented by the Teamsters Union.
Yep.
So that's this negotiation, and it represents 340,000 union employees.
Right. Now, I'm wondering, and maybe some of the experts out there in the Twitter world that listen to the show will let us know, is this the same thing for like FedEx, or is FedEx completely different, not unionized, or is this just kind of a UPS, like this is as good as it gets because it's, what can Brown do for you? I mean, also like the postal workers. I'm assuming the postal workers, the United States USPS, they don't make the UPS salary, I would imagine, right? Because that's a government job. UPS is a company. United States Postal Service, like if you work at your local, like your Bluebell Postal Service and you drive the little white mail truck, that's a government job.
Yeah, but check the salaries. They make.
I mean, I'm sure they do well.
And they get pensions and all the benefits.
Right.
So it's a good, solid job. FedEx ground drivers are not unionized.
Okay.
So they're, and then DHL drivers are not unionized.
Pepster on the YouTube chat writes, you start at $20 an hour at UPS. I work there now part-time.
Okay. $20 an hour.
Don't tell the part-time producers here that.
Valdez
they make $6 an hour there, Daniel.
Valdez is like, I did it all wrong. I'm out. Print your own story, Kayal. So there you go. That's that story. And then go ahead.
One more thing on this.
Yeah.
I think that, like I have a clip that I was going to play, and maybe I'll play it at 9:40 about, Tim Scott, who's running for president, in case anybody forgot.
Yeah. Where did he go, by the way?
He was on Hannity last night, and he's trashing these union workers who are striking, and he's like, he did the old Reagan thing. I would stand up there and say you're fired, or if you don't show up to work, you're fired. I get that on a macro level, but if you actually look at union households, I think like 6 out of 10 are Republicans.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to walk that back.
Be careful what you're saying.
Right.
The union workers, not the unions themselves. I know everybody's like unions are liberal. I mean the union workers are always big Trump supporters. They're usually Republicans.
And also just be careful when you're talking about people's livelihoods, right?
Exactly.
Like don't worry about other people's pockets.
Yeah. But it seems to me like guys like Mike Pence and Tim Scott, who are taking, the playbook from the old Reagan thing of, with the air traffic control strike. And he was like, I would tell them you're fired, or blah, 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 blah. Like that, you're on the side of big business in that situation. And I don't know if you want to be the working man's party.
Yep.
The Democrats used to be it or pretend to be it. The Republicans actually are now. But they need to be careful about walking that line.
And at a time when how much has this administration given to Ukraine? $135 billion, and Zelensky's at the White House today asking
for
the
more.
Big guy for more money.
Yeah.
And you're a hardworking union worker, trying in this economy. So I think the context matters. I mean, to Greg's point, you're exactly right. But the context within which this administration is throwing money at everybody else, and they're supposed to vote for him or go for him. So I just think they're saying, show me the money or we'll show you the door.
Yeah. Good point. 855-839-1210. We've got some really good stories coming up before we get out of here this morning. I've got to get to this COVID story, and then also Kamala Harris claims that climate anxiety has young people so scared they're doubting the reason to even have children or buy a home. Wait till you hear this story. We'll get to Kamala. We'll get to AOC and climate change and being fact-checked on the other side. But right now, here's Dawn Stensland for a word for Parks.
Yeah, we all love Parks Casino. I mean, Nick was at Zioli and Conklin's night recently. We've all the memories, too. I mean, Greg Stocker can attest to this. We have great memories at Parks. It's fun. Whether it's, going out with your work, brothers and sisters, right, having a work event, or a date night for Lair Bear and I. If we're not in the Spring Dance Hot Tub, we love our Parks Casino for a date night, whether it's a comedy night. They have great restaurants, too. I mean, really good food. I love the restaurants at Parks. But it's all there. Parks Casino and Sportsbook, the only casino and sportsbook I ever recommend. Excitement, entertainment, award-winning dining, special discounts, by the way, and this is wonderful, for military, first responders, medical professionals. So experience the open-air Liberty Bell Beer Garden, unwind at the all-new Bamboo for happy hour every Sunday through Thursday for just delectable specials, handcrafted cocktails. In the mood maybe for a stylish dining experience, head to Parks Grill, Signature Steakhouse, unique menu of classic cuisine alongside seasonal chefs' specialties, by the way, and then savor those exceptional food and 24 rotating craft beers and cocktails in the Liberty Bell Beer Garden's unique indoor open-air seating. And by the way, we have this idea for the parents' night, back-to-school nights, have the Big Itty Big Parents meeting at Parks. And you'd be surprised. All the moms were like, yeah, parks. We'll get our husbands to go. We can. I mean, it's so much fun. Seriously. 3,200 state-of-the-art slots, 115 table. I could go on. You know I could. But headliners, I'll just say this weekend, the Pointer Sisters, Saturday, September 23rd, and Buddy Guy, Friday, October 6th. Parks, it's the ultimate destination. So much fun, free parking for all things Parks Casino. ParksCasino.com, PARXCasino.com. This is how you win. Got to be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Volvo Finance, in concert with Cherry Hill Volvo, is offering lease and cash bonuses up to $2,500. Purchase or lease a new XC40 or XC90 through Volvo Finance and through Cherry Hill Volvo and receive this additional bonus along with the aggressive pricing already posted on our Cherry Hill Volvo website. This is a special offer and it is not to be missed. Volvo Finance and Cherry Hill Volvo and you, a perfect partnership.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to Rhino Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of Rhino Shield. John, take it away.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield. For years, you've heard about our exclusive elastomeric ceramic house paint with the unheard-of 25-year warranty. Today, I want to ask you, do you need to paint your home? Maybe even been putting it off for too long? If your answer is yes, then ask yourself, if you want to paint it one last time, or if you want to be painting it again in 5 or 6 years, Rhino Shield can make your next paint job your last. Rhino Shield is waterproof, protects your home, is affordable, and looks great on any exterior surface. Let Rhino Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation. That's 484-406-5111.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Liberty Mutual presents How to Be the Life of the Party.
Okay, first turn the music off. Then ask for everyone's attention. Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some brains inside that face that know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
The official theme song of John Fetterman, Joe Biden, and the left. They don't want to work. They just want to bang on the drum all day. Kayal and Company. 9:02. Good to have everybody in. Fourth and final hour underway on this Thursday morning. We've got our morning mystery movie clip coming up around 9:20. Another great prize for you there. Dawn's Big Three at the bottom of the hour. Part 2 of the cut sheet. And, of course, our Disney keyword coming up at 9:50 this morning. You take that over to 1210WPHT.com, and you can enter that keyword for a trip to Walt Disney World. So, a couple of stories to get to here. I did mention when we were talking about the release of the Fauci family financials and their net worth, how they went from $7.6 million pre-pandemic family net worth in 2019 to just about $11 million effective the end of 2022. Collectively, him and his wife, $3.4 million boost in their family's net worth during the pandemic, which is remarkable because I would assume most people either lost some 401k money or certainly lost a job, whether it was because your business closed up or maybe you didn't get vaccinated and lost a job or something like that. But in the world of COVID, I wanted to just give this update, and then I've got 2 stories with climate change I want to get to. But COVID severity is much lower now, but there are 3 symptoms that remain. This according to a top New York City doctor. Despite the recent warning of a new variant from the CDC, cases of COVID-19 are now noticeably weaker than previous waves. That is according to a top New York City doctor. Quote, just about everyone who I've seen has had really mild symptoms, said Dr. Eric Eiting, Vice Chair of Operations for Emergency Medicine at Mount Sinai, telling NBC News in New York. Quote, the only way that we knew that it was COVID was because we happened to be testing them. The most mild symptoms of any wave so far.
Yeah.
And he went on to say and add that, noting that current symptoms mostly include some congestion, some sneezing, and a mildly sore throat.
Not bad.
That bad. That is enough to shut down a few schools in the early months of September in California and in Maryland, as we've given you those stories, and cancel a high school football team because there was an outbreak of sore throats and sneezing.
I get allergies worse than I get that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They also go on to say that a loss of taste and smell is now only impacting around 10% of people that acquire COVID, as opposed to during the early days of the pandemic, 60 to 70%. Still, current patients may endure, quote, a burning sensation like they never had, even with strep in the past. Then, as soon as the congestion happens, it seems like the throat will get better. Doctors also reporting that fewer patients compared to last year are in need of intensive hospital care. So what do we always hear? Well, it's not necessarily the cases. It's the hospitalization, or as Fauci would say, the severe illness. The medical system, the hospital system just can't take it. It's going to be overran. That's not overrun. That's not happening again. Yeah. By the way, the jar is still over there. And it's, honor system in this building.
I know.
In this studio, that jar's had, I don't know, $13 in there for 7 months.
And it's had, yes,
right.
And it's stayed.
You know what a part-time producer would do for that tip jar? And nobody's touched it. It's nice work.
I only hire the cream of the crop.
That's
here,
correct.
So nobody's taking that.
That is correct. One last doctor going on to say, especially since July, when this recent mini surge started, younger people that have upper respiratory symptoms, cough, runny nose, sore throat, fever, and chills, 99% of the time they go home with supportive care. Supportive care.
Robert Schwartz on the YouTube chat says, oh boy, this doc is about to get canceled.
Oh, yeah. His tweets are going to get flagged.
We can't have facts and truth getting in the way of government-perpetuated hysteria.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Speaking of hysteria, that gets us to another topic and another umbrella and a subject that the left can't get enough of. It's climate change. You heard Kamala on the cut sheet this morning. Earlier, when she was asked if Joe's age is a factor moving forward, she said, no president has ever taken on climate change with more vigor than Joe Biden.
Yep.
But now she's saying even more absurd stuff. And I would really love to have a conversation on this and maybe even bring in, the Valdezes of the world, the Gen Zers, because I find this fascinating. Not that Daniel Valdez is worried about climate change, but it's his generation of people that Kamala Harris is talking about here. And she argued during a stop on her Fight for Our Freedoms college tour. So she was, speaking in front of colleges, but talking like she was in front of 7-year-olds. That young people have climate anxiety, and we've seen these nut jobs on Instagram and TikTok, like Greta Thunberg, and these paid 21-year-olds to try to influence and sell the fear of it. But she now goes on to say, as she was, this is a local story. This actually happened at Reading Area Community College in Berks County. So now you're probably 45, 50 minutes from here. Quote, "We're not going to stop fighting with climate change because young people have said we're not leaving it to other people to decide how we're dealing with the climate crisis. I've heard young leaders talk with me about a term that they've coined climate anxiety," Harris said, pivoting, quote, "which is the fear of the future and the unknown of whether it makes sense for you to even think about having children, whether it makes sense for you to think about aspiring to buy a home, because what will this climate be?" So let me just say this. If you are a Gen Zer or a Gen Xer or a millennial, whatever you might fall under, and you have climate anxiety, you really should seek help. But your rationale for having it and how it's impacting your decision as a potential parent or a homeowner, like imagine believing that, me and my wife were 26, we were thinking about having kids, but I don't know if I want to bring them into this world because of the future climate and the uncertainties of humanity. And oh, by the way, I don't know if I want to buy a home because, it's getting really warm out and energy costs. Like, here's what I would say. I would argue that, no, this is not climate anxiety, Kamala. You know why people don't want to have kids right now? Because it's expensive.
It is.
You know why people are afraid that they can't buy a home? Because homes are now like 28% more expensive than they were 6 years ago. That home that you could have afforded for $325,000, that's now $462,000. That just knocked you out of that ball game. Not because of the climate, it's because of your economy. That's what they're concerned about. Like, I got the best job of my life at 39 years old. Finally, I don't have a dollar to speak for in my name because of this economy. Like, it's remarkable. Go ahead.
Nothing.
Well, and other stuff too, but that's my fault. That's not Kamala's fault. I'll give her a reprieve.
I was gonna say, man.
But like, you're gonna sit here and give me climate anxiety as to why
man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You pay me very well. No complaints, sir. At least for another year and a half. but that being said, like, these people are walking, and like, Kamala's selling this, and is she overselling it? Yes, of course she is. Are hundreds of thousands of Gen Z voters coming to him saying, me and Daniel Valdez, we're not going to buy a house or have kids? Because no, they're not, because they can't afford to do anything. Most people living paycheck to paycheck under Bidenomics can't afford to do anything. But I would love to bring Valdez in, and I don't know if he's got some friends that are on the left that are in his generation.
His orbit.
Is in your orbit, Valdez, have you ever heard this from anybody in your group or, people that you went to college with at Newman?
I don't think they care.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a few of them out there because you see them on social media. But like this,
well, at least the people that I went to school with and who I hung out with, they don't care.
Okay, so they don't care. That's very good. And I'm glad that they don't. But like, this never-ending perpetual sales pitch of climate anxiety is just so outrageous that I really feel like this is one of those things where this administration is beyond the identity politics. They love going to the climate card. And you saw that right here at Reading Area Community College in Berks County. Probably a lot of those kids going to Berks County, Reading Area Community College, because, well, why would you go to Villanova when it's $52,000 a year, right?
Can you imagine, though, how broken you are as a young person if you are that worried about the climate?
That's a great point.
And just we failed. We have failed our kids as a society. I don't mean us personally, but like, we have failed our kids if that is like, because it's us and it's the media and it's everybody who's putting it in their little mushy brains that doomsday is coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how do you recover? It's one thing if you suddenly lost your mind like Keith Olbermann at 64 years old, but when you're 25 and you truly believe this, it's like, hey, dude, you have like maybe 50, 55, 60 years left of life left to live, and you're tapping out on your future.
I know.
Over climate change?
Well, Anne Marie has an interesting point on the YouTube chat. She says kids these days, and by kids I mean 25, 30-year-olds don't want to have children because this generation is selfish. Are they any more selfish than we were, or that Dawn was, or you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I think there's more entitlement today.
But I think it has to do with the way you're raised.
Yeah.
And so one of the problems is, and it's really the parents' fault, because if this generation specifically that you're talking about, if their parents say, hey, you know what, this is a tough economy, I can't pay for your car anymore or your car insurance, we're mom and dad are struggling, so you're on your own, guess what, they're going to care a whole lot more about other things other than climate change. They care about climate change or the pronouns because they got nothing else.
So you're actually saying that the family values still matter and parents do have an impact on their children.
Amen.
Wild concept.
That's why we need to go to war, so these kids
we don't have to go to war.
Know what it's like. We need to start drafting them, right? So they know real heartache and real pain. They won't care about pronouns and everything else.
You don't even have to do that. Just stop. Support. They're adults.
Yep.
Support them. Let them have responsibilities, and pay their bills.
Yep.
And watch how quickly they're not talking about these other issues.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be saying, "Oh, I gotta pay my bills."
That's correct.
Daniel, do you want to defend your generation?
Nah.
Dawn's mostly correct.
Because I know that, I know how much Newman costs. So I'm telling you, his friends in their early to mid 20s, mom and dad are still not with Daniel, because we know, Daniel Valdez has an incredible work ethic and is hardworking and smart and is going to be just fine in this world. But
once he gets out of radio.
But I think for the most part, his age group is, there are a lot of, you look at the stats. Mom and dad are still supporting at least 50%, if not 80%.
I after I graduated Temple in 2006 at 22, I still lived at home for the first year and a half until I was in my late portion of my 23rd year. And then I got engaged, married, and, moved in, and we got a place at 24. But like that first year and a half, I had basically 2.5 part-time jobs. So, I understand that, but it seems like, I didn't take the Fetterman approach, but, a lot of people get out of college and it's not like all of a sudden you're just given an $80,000 job and you have little debt. You still got like your mid to late 20s where it's like you're playing catch up just to kind of get back to where your buddy who at 18 decided to be a UPS driver and he's laughing at you.
Yep, exactly.
How does that feel, Temple grad?
Exactly.
Not that I've been told that.
And that's the joke. And that you brought up Fetterman amid the conversation about hardworking union members that he allegedly represents. This is a guy who, mommy and daddy, wealthy, paid his way, went to Harvard, and then supported him and provided a home, provided for him until early 50s, until basically he made a government salary that's of a U.S. senator. Well, now, I don't know if mom and dad still help out, but think about it. The government is the parent for him. 170. So think about how much he works or doesn't work, and he's making about what that union worker that you were just talking about, driving delivery trucks and 49 hours a week. That's what they have to work. And I don't think they're getting summers off and all the holidays off and a big pension like a Fetterman would. So he's the furthest thing from representing any of those individuals.
855-839-1210, the phone number. Coming up next, we will get to the morning mystery movie clip, as well as Dawn's Big Three at the bottom of the hour. It's Kayal and Company as we continue live on a Thursday on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Question for you. How many healthcare providers do you know who schedule downtime in their offices for team training? Not many. But my good friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz does that because he wants to ensure that he and his staff are well-versed in all the latest technology, so when he invests in new state-of-the-art equipment for his patients, he can rest assured that he and his staff can maximize the performance of the new technology. One of their latest investments is the Trios 5 scanner. Talk about amazing. The Trios 5 has an incredible design which reduces the potential for patients gagging or experiencing discomfort during the impression-taking process. Plus, the process is much faster, which saves Dr. Bentz and his patients precious time. The scans are done, the plan is made, and the on-site lab gets to work. Dr. Bentz and his staff are a well-oiled machine when it comes to your comprehensive dental care. They're always working to make that experience as comfortable and as seamless as it can be. Visit them at BentzDentalGroup.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. When it comes to all your home improvement needs, trust is everything. And that's why for years, I've been talking about the amazing work my friends Stephanie and Matt and the entire team at Emmons has done for me and my home. My roof, doors, windows, siding, and yes, remodeling projects. Emmons can bring that same quality of work to all of your kitchen and bathroom remodeling needs. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, and now baths and kitchens. Emmons is the Delaware Valley's one-stop shop for all of your home improvement needs. Call 856-556-3229 and get a free estimate, or go online to emmonsroofing.com, or even better, come visit the Emmons Design Showroom in Cherry Hill. emmonsroofing.com. It's about trust, it's about quality, it's about great work, and that's why me and my family have used them for basically every project we've done to improve our home. emmonsroofing.com.
I'm Mark Luca, president of Aqua Pennsylvania, here to help you avoid costly clogs. Remember to toss all wipes in the trash, not in the toilet. This includes those marked flushable, as well as tissues, napkins, or paper towels. Flushing anything other than toilet paper can cause backups in your household plumbing and larger blockages in our system. Save the pipes, don't flush the wipes. Aqua, an essential utilities company providing clean, safe, reliable water when you need it. Learn more at aquawater.com. That's aquawater.com.
And Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb.
Listen to live Black Ad-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes, home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly rated hospitals across the U.S. Accuracy matters, so make Exergen the chosen thermometer for your home and family.
From Broomall to Brookhaven, follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, oh, it was beautiful, magical. And all the birds in the trees, will they be singing songs?
All right, welcome back in. It's Kayal and Company, 9:20 here on this Thursday morning. If you missed any of the show, where have you been?
We start at 6 a.m.
But we do give you the ability to go back and get it earlier.
We do.
Rewind app, part of the Rewind feature, part of the Odyssey app. Watch us on YouTube. You can go back and get other parts of the show on YouTube. A lot of good stuff this morning that you might have missed out on.
By the way, if you haven't done so yet, you're listening on the Odyssey app, or you have the Odyssey app and you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube or 1210WPHT.com. Don't forget to favor 1210WPHT.
Oh.
We get a little credit when you favor us. That all you have to do is, tap the little heart there.
Yeah.
So, favor us.
Yeah, not many people favor us. We're the last one to be favored when it comes to this building.
True. It's true.
Treated like their little redheaded stepchild.
So is this like chatterbait? Where we talking about? What do you mean?
Favor us.
No, it's a little heart. So you tap it and then they love you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It shows love.
Right.
Right.
Tap it and then they love you.
Click the heart on.
That's correct. And get the merch, folks. Get the merch, like this coffee mug. It's Kayal and Company one.
I'm going to get another email about your dirty mouth, Dawn.
What did I say?
Your filthy mouth.
Because I mentioned that. I can't believe that story that she's getting a pass in Virginia.
I know. Pretty remarkable.
It's
pretty remarkable. I've got another remarkable story in the world of compensation. Well, you thought UPS drivers have a good. Wait till you hear this story before we get out of here this morning. Dawn's Big Three coming up in just a little bit. We've got part 2 of the cut sheet and all sorts of other good stuff as well. But right now, let's get to the morning mystery movie clip.
And now, the morning mystery movie clip on Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Oh, God, I'm on fire! Ouch! You're not a zombie. You're talking. You're okay.
The hell I am.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was you.
Are you? What's with the get up?
Call it 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
And today's great prize is a $50 gift card to the Metro Diner. If you can be caller 12 at 855-839-1210, $50 gift card, Metro Diner. And a little hint, one individual in that clip turns 72 years old today. So good luck with that. Caller 12, 855-839-1210.
By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, we played the clip.
I know, I saw that. Like we never play the videos.
I know. Daniel stepping up the game there. Wow.
I didn't even know that was possible to do that. I figured it would take like 2 days to find the video to go with the audio.
Well,
that's nice work.
I mean, another reason to watch at youtube.com/@1210WPHT. By the way, we're about 50 likes away from 200.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get to 200 by 10 o'clock? You have like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So
let's go. Let's
do
it.
Hit the like button. Try and be the 200th like.
I agree. All right, good luck with that. And if you were watching on YouTube, probably a little bit easier to identify because those were two very popular and wildly successful actors in that clip. But the last story of the day, and before we get to Dawn's Big Three coming up at the bottom of the hour, is, we gave you the story on the UPS drivers, and a lot of people are reacting, saying that obviously you don't make $170,000 to start, it's part-time, or you might be in one of the facilities, or you get $20 an hour, and you got to wait for people to leave for the opportunity to move up, and some people are saying it's very frustrating. You got to wait out a long time. But I thought that was good until I saw this story. Imagine being a beautiful young lady, which I'm telling you, now has never been a better time to be, 28 and hot, right? Like, the amount of money that females are making today off of stupid men is staggering. As long as society exists, there will be dumb men that just give away their money.
Dawn, is he projecting something?
No, I'm giving credit. I'm giving credit to the female. This is all about bashing.
No.
men right
I'm
now.
just saying.
This is unbelievable. So the New York Post has a story that says, "I get paid by older men to travel the world, and have made $500,000 so far in doing so." So there's a lady by the name of Palmar Kelly, 27. She is a self-confessed sugar baby who travels the world with her clients. So this is not sexual in nature and this is anything like that. She travels the world with her clients and earns up to $500,000 from the job, according to the Southwest News Service. Since taking up this title, Kelly has traveled the globe from Las Vegas to Paris with her patrons, paying for first-class tickets, accommodations, plus thousands in per diem funds. Quote, "It's what you want to do. Don't feel ashamed. If that's what you want to do, do it." Kelly, who lives in Florida, told SWNS. I think it's amazing. said another individual. Kelly first got into this work when she was living in New York City and studying at a dramatic arts college in 2014. So she was studying to play political theater as a Democrat. And as a side hustle, she began stripping as a exotic dancer, where she was making anywhere from $700 to $1,100 in one night.
Are you showing pictures of her, or video of her, or anything?
I don't know if there
on
is
the
video,
YouTube?
but then again, I didn't think we had the movie clip, so Valdez could pull up anything at this point. And, she goes on to say...
What's her name?
Her name is Palmar Kelly, 27 years old. First name is Palmar. Palmar Kelly. And she said that when she was introduced to the world of sugaring, going on dates to make some additional cash. But now... she is traveling with men aged anywhere from 37 to 75 years old. So that's about a 38-year age stretch gap. And she is just paid to come along with these, I'm assuming, very wealthy men that are taking a business trip to this city or that state or that country. And she just gets compensated basically because she's beautiful to go along for the trip and gets all sorts of expenditures and per diems and other compensations. The hell with radio. I'm going either UPS or if there's women out there between 37 to 75 that want me to just come and travel, I'll take in the world.
Wait, so Nick Kayal, you want to be a sugar baby?
Yes. I have never had a problem. By the way, if you're a
Oh,
man,
wow. Look at, okay, Daniel.
How does he find this?
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT.
She's in the middle box, folks.
YouTube, wow, YouTube. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, I also just sent you her image.
I'll let you
I
describe
mean,
her.
not that hot.
Yeah.
Oh!
I'm just saying,
Yeah, relatively standard.
I mean,
Good looking,
fine,
yeah.
but not like
right.
I kind of expected.
But again,
I don't know.
wealthy men do dumb things.
She looks young. Like, she has a baby face. She looks young.
Yeah.
Right?
She's 27. She is young.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now I feel old.
The older I get, 27
I
does
know.
seem younger.
Dude, that's like 16 years ago for you.
Oh, God.
That's a third of a lifetime for you.
Yeah, so she just travels the world.
Travels the world, and
and
has made $500,000 so far.
And she claims she doesn't have sex with these.
Nothing
people, right?
sexual,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, okay.
No, just probably dresses up really nice and goes to the dinner and introduces herself to colleagues of the guy that's paying, and kaboom.
If you're not watching on YouTube, I don't know. It kind of looks like the look of maybe Caitlin Collins on CNN. Since we talked about her.
Very good description.
That's a good pull by you, but the figure's better than Caitlin.
Let's do
You don't know what Caitlin. She might.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's do a hot or not on for everybody watching right now on YouTube.
Yeah,
just comment along.
I'm telling you what, it's just amazing if you think about it. In this lifetime, there's money to be made, folks. You just got to find the job. Whether it's getting the break with UPS and moving up through the ranks, or OnlyFans, or dumb stupid men. Like, if you're making $50,000, you're probably not trying hard enough at your job, or you're not creative enough to come up with a way to compensate yourself.
All right, some comments here. Kenneth writes that's a killer body.
Yes.
Mango Mush says high priced hooker. Hang on.
Jeez. She's not a hooker, folks.
But she doesn't. Here's the thing. Here's why they probably like her, because she doesn't look trashy. In fact, she's not super made up. She looks like a
beautiful girl at the beach,
like a little more wholesome.
Yeah.
Tim writes hot. Bubba 45 says mid.
Mid. Yeah, okay, Bubba.
Tom says hot. Sid says meh.
Yes, okay.
Shafe hot.
Sid just dropped his coffee mug again.
Gary so-so.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Tom says a bit of a butterface.
Yeah. All right.
Told you.
I just wanted to share those two.
I mean, it's mean, but if you're
Mike writes cash in now. That's right. Everybody looks good at 27.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Everybody looks good at 27.
So whether it's this or UPS, folks, I know the Bidenomics are tough these days, but there's still jobs out there that will pay you a lot.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. You want to see her?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, how did she get in this business?
She was in college in 2014 studying dramatic arts in New York City. Then she did become a stripper for a little bit. And then when she finished up and got into her profession, she realized that there was a market for this, and she cashed in. It's like the Instagram models.
Yeah.
Like, women on Instagram are making a killing.
Mm-hmm.
It's unreal.
Daniel, why don't you put her photo up during the commercial break so people can, who are just tuning in, because now all of a sudden we're getting, shocking, I know, all of a sudden we're getting a lot of tune-in on YouTube. So why don't you keep her picture up during the commercial break?
Yeah, leave her in the box and keep her there. All right, 855-839-1210. We'll come back. We'll get our morning mystery movie clip winner. We'll get Dawn's Big Three, and then we have What's on the Cut Sheet Part Due. It's Kayal and Company. Back after this.
Kenneth says she looks obtainable. I'm sorry.
So's the break.
This is Larry Steinhess of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Water quality continues to be a topic. Ensure your family is drinking clean, pure water with the Connecticut water system from Martin Water Conditioning. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all natural, delicious water. Put the Martin Water Conditioning family's passion for water to work for you. Do what I did. Contact Martin Water Conditioning. Mention DOM 2023 to receive an exclusive offer. DOM 2023. Visit martinwater.com. martinwater.com.
Don't miss Borgata's $1.4 million Wild Winnings giveaway. This September and October, you could win a share of $1.4 million in prizes, including one of 2 new Mercedes-Benz SUVs or one of 4 Polaris ATVs. Play to earn entries for 2 grand prize drawings held Saturday, September 30th and October 28th. The Wild Winnings giveaway, only at Borgata. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, this is Dr. Brad Schaefer. As a podiatrist, I can tell you no two people's feet are alike, which is why I recommend Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. They're customized for your feet, so you get a unique solution your feet really need, not just a one-size-fits-all insole. They're clinically proven to provide pain relief for achy feet, knees, lower back, plantar fasciitis, and heels. Take the Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotics assessment in Walmart today, now in the foot care aisle.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. September is Cholesterol Education Month, and it's time to take charge. So how is your cholesterol? For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted partner in cholesterol support. I've relied on Rescue supplements for years. With Rescue, you'll find specific supplements tailored to your needs. Favorites like omega-3s, red yeast rice, and more. Right now, all you have to do is just use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, buy one, get a matching Rescue cholesterol product for free. I've personally seen the firsthand benefits of Rescue supplements. They are incredible. Remember, use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, to double up your cholesterol support order for free today.
Don't let them silence you. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I was just 34 years old, and I was still wandering in a haze.
It's Kayal and Company, 9:35, Thursday morning. Nick, Dawn, and Greg, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Time to give away our $50 gift card to the Metro Diner for our Morning Mystery Movie Clip winner. We have Jillian in Richland Town who is with us. Jillian, good morning, and what was the movie clip we played for you about 15 minutes ago?
Good morning, Zombieland.
That is correct, Zombieland.
Yeah, all right.
Also known as Kensington. So congratulations.
Yeah, right? How about it?
How about it? So congratulations. Thank you for listening and playing, and you got yourself the $50 gift card to the Metro Diner.
Awesome. Thank you. And I might have to force my husband into a career change, and he's going to be wearing a brown outfit. So that's just crazy.
That's right. Now, Jillian, would you let him travel the world with wealthy women and get paid to do so?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Me too.
As long as I get to benefit from it, I'd be okay with that.
There you go. Jillian in Richland Town, we thank you for playing.
It's so funny how when you get married, your perspective changes on things. Like, would you be okay with your husband traveling the world with a woman if it benefited you? It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
What the hell? I'm getting guys tweeting me saying I've gone about it all wrong, saying I need a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dudes tweeting me. Not a sugar mama. Us guys, we need a sugar daddy as well as too.
Yeah.
Because we all love money. All right, 9:36. Let's get to Dawn Stenzelin's Big 3 at 9.
It's the Big 3 at 9 on Kayal and Company.
And the Big 3 at 9 on this Thursday morning, sponsored by Piazza Auto Group. So number 1, I'll begin with the economy and economic news. We're talking about the Fed because yesterday the Fed surprised everybody with not touching interest rates, but stocks. Why didn't stocks like it? It wasn't actually the initial action. It was that afternoon news conference in which Fed Chair Jerome Powell got behind the podium for the news conference where he just started talking, lips are moving, and the stock market being impacted and reacting because they're not liking what he's saying. I'll just point you to even the Wall Street Journal saying higher interest rates may be forever, especially for mortgage rates and that sort of thing.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. So on this one, looking at inflation, looking at mortgage rates, the average rate for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, 7.18%, the highest level in 2 decades, and more than 3 points higher than a year ago. And so just looking at mortgage rates, especially credit card interest rates, I think the average right now is way up is 21%.
Impossible to get out of debt.
Yeah.
Almost impossible.
And that's just it. For anybody who's lower income, all of this inflation, Bidenomics is a real tax.
But don't worry. Zelensky has just arrived, and he is getting his weekly handout from Joe as we speak. There's video of him walking through the Capitol, dressed like he's in a military fight with his green camo coat on.
Saying, show me the monkey. Yeah. Money, not monkey.
Here's a couple more billion.
Show me the money.
And the monkey, too.
And the monkey.
And the monkey. And the bird. Give him just give him the. If you see Zelensky, give him the bird.
And this has the national debt, and this was another, was it $33 trillion? I know we talked about that yesterday, but all of this put it in perspective. Just wanted to give you some economic news, a little taste of that. Can trees combat violence? So I immediately, when I saw the headline in Philadelphia, thought about Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy. We're not talking about Groot. This is what they're calling a major budget boost, thanks to the feds, for Philadelphia's plan to plant more trees and expand the green urban canopy and make that more equitable across the city.
Equitable. Okay.
Tree equity.
Interesting.
Yes.
But will it fight climate change and racism is what I want to know. If it doesn't, then I'm not down for it.
Apparently it does all of the above.
Magical trees.
And so we are getting, this is a $12 million grant. And our company, we're going to be planting more trees.
Oh, I know. Yeah, next April,
right?
We'll be back out at the park where we're picking up trash again.
And by the way, tree planting is usually in the fall. So, but we're getting this $12 million grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So from the feds to Philadelphia with love. And so now it's part of the Philly Tree Plan. And what it means, and I looked up a University of Pennsylvania study that said that for Philadelphia and other cities, more trees correlate directly with fewer shootings.
Oh.
The more trees you have, so this could, that's why combat the guns, the new gun control.
We're going to curb violence in Philadelphia with more trees.
We're branching out.
A different kind of tree that Philly's used to.
Now, earlier, Nick Kayal predicted, after we had the story about in Chester County, the prison, and the community in an uproar with 2 town hall meetings demanding better security. And Nick Kayal predicted, we won't have any more escapes. What are the odds?
Oh, let me guess. Somebody just broke out in the last hour?
We do have another escape.
Good night, everybody.
Pennsylvania State Police, this is tongue-in-cheek.
How is this possible?
Pennsylvania State Police say be on alert for this is a group of escapees. escaping the death penalty. They are black, brown, and white, and they bite.
So we have diversity, equity, and inclusion. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Greg knows where I'm going.
Yeah, of course I do.
Thousands of mink, and they're on the loose.
Okay.
And they're headed for our region.
They must not know our region sucks.
These little buggers, there's 8,000 of these minks. Is it mink or minks?
Yeah, I'm the wrong one to ask.
It's like deer, because deer, you don't say deers. But the stories are saying minks. I've never heard minks. But anyway, they were one of these maybe like ALF, one of the animal loving groups cut holes in the cages at a mink farm in Pennsylvania, and 8,000 of these little furry critters, they escaped.
Imagine that being your life's calling. You're going to free the minks, and you're going to break into this place at night and cut open the cages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Silence of the Lambs.
Black, brown, and white, huh?
The black, brown. Well, because think about a mink coat, because they were going to be slaughtered this fall.
Well, hopefully once we round them all up, they are all rounded up equally and fairly. Or like the Philadelphia Inquirer will have an article tomorrow that the black and brown minks were roughed up by the people while the white ones were let go.
Yeah, Sharon writes, I heard they make good coats. It's true.
Mink coat.
They make beautiful coats.
Yeah.
You can get a white mink coat.
Yep.
There you go.
You can get a brown one. You can get a black one.
All right, sponsor, please.
Oh, sorry. He's like done with the minks. On a serious note, they look cute, like a ferret or whatever. They bite, and they also they're carnivores. So watch if you got a little dog or kitty cat, just watch it.
Okay.
That's a serious. Veterinarians are putting out the warning there. So I just want to give that heads up because we love our animals.
Thank you.
And speaking of who loves animals, we know the Piazza Auto Group. They love animals and they love vehicles and they love their customers and their families. So get complimentary 2-year maintenance with the purchase of a new 2023 Acura, like the Integra, TLX, MDX. Visit Piazza Acura in Ardmore, Reading, Westchester, and that's PIAZZA Autogroup.com. Visit them or shop online, PiazzaAcura.com. Thank you, Piazza Auto Group, for sponsoring our Big Three.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 9:42 as we get to What's on the Cut Sheet, Part 2.
What's on the cut sheet?
Part 2. Ex-Trump aide Cassidy Hutchinson claims that Rudy Giuliani groped her on January 6th. In a new book, Hutchinson describes an incident in which the former New York mayor put his hands under my blazer, then my skirt. Cassidy Hutchinson, the former Trump aide turned crucial January 6th witness, says in a new book she was groped by Rudy Giuliani, who was like a wolf closing in on its prey on the day of the attack on the Capitol. Rudy Giuliani was on with Eric Bolling last night on Newsmax to discuss this, and this is what he said.
About RICO, because you brought the mob down using RICO, which is very inventive and actually worked very well. Mr. Mayor, before we let you go, there was something circulating earlier today. This Cassidy Hutchinson is making a claim about you.
Completely, absolutely false, totally absurd. She claims that I groped her in a tent on January 6th, where all the people went in that were very, very cold as a result of the president's speech, etc. I'm going to grope somebody with 100 people. First, I'm not going to grope somebody at all. And number two, in front of like 100 people. Plus, that day, I had extra security, and I had my entire staff around me virtually all day, because I took them to the speech as kind of a reward for all the work they did. So I brought 10 people to the speech, and they were with me virtually at every moment that I was there. And if I wasn't talking to them, I was taking pictures with people. So there would have been no occasion for this to happen. It's completely absurd. It's as crazy as her statement that the president jumped over the seat and took over the car.
Mr. Mayor, I'm glad you had it.
So Rudy Giuliani is the insurrectionist groper, according to this lady. In all seriousness, I always wonder, and I don't doubt these things and try to crush women because these things happen. Politicians are perverts. But I'm always curious about two things. I'm always curious about the timing and the motive.
Well, yes.
The timing with Russell Brand, 10, 15 years ago. Again, not saying he might not, but just the timing. And then the motive. And this time the motive is maybe a book?
Two things.
Yeah, it's her new book.
Yeah, two things with this. If this happened, why did you wait till you were selling a book to talk about it? But on the other hand, Rudy Giuliani was. Remember, he was caught in that movie with his hands down his pants while that woman
down his own pants, though.
Yeah, but
he was groping himself.
Yeah, he was
doing
trying to.
Pee Wee Herman.
It was a little creepy.
He wasn't doing the Boebert. He was doing the Pee Wee.
The creepy meter on Rudy is pretty high. That being said, Cassidy Hutchinson, if this is true, why'd you wait for a book to say it?
Right.
So I'm calling BS on this.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the same one who said that Trump, even though she didn't witness it, tried to lurch forward and grab the steering wheel of the presidential vehicle.
That's what he was.
And there was like,
yeah.
And then the Secret Service, agent had to he had him in a neck hold or something crazy. That she's the same one.
Yeah. So
she's a little storyteller.
Credibility is in doubt.
By the way, you know who she looks like?
Who?
Now that I see her book cover, put Cassidy Hutchinson up, and then next to the Sugar Baby girl.
Oh,
okay.
They look like sisters.
Okay, we might have some commercial viewing pleasure. Coming up next, we find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show, as well as who won Twitter today. Back after this on Kayal and Company.
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Miller Center in Reading on Wednesday, October 18th, and at Springfield High School in Delaware County, Saturday, November 11th.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
I loved it.
All his voices are fabulous, and the fact that he sings.
I couldn't imagine how good it would be with the orchestra. Awesome show.
I've never laughed so much my cheeks hurt. I'm like, yeah.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at the Miller Center in Reading and at Springfield High School in Delco. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are partnering again with our Costco members. Purchase a certified 2020, 21, or 22 XC40, XC60, or XC90 and receive an incredible additional discount up to $1,500 off. A discount added to the unbelievably already aggressive pricing at Cherry Hill Volvo. Join us for this special offer. Cherry Hill Volvo and Costco and you, perfect together.
Hi, I'm PJ Vogt, here to tell you about my new podcast, Search Engine. On Search Engine, we tackle the kinds of questions that keep you up at night. Like, why are drug dealers putting fentanyl in everything? Should we be worried that Elon Musk believes that we're living in a simulation? And, for the love of God, is it actually unsafe to drink the coffee on airplanes? On Search Engine, no question is too big and no question is too small. Listen and follow Search Engine with PJ Vogt and Odyssey Podcast. Available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Russian missiles shelled multiple Ukrainian cities, including capital city Kyiv, overnight, with at least 2 dead in Kherson. The White House is granting temporary legal status to hundreds of thousands of Venezuelan migrants, making it easier for them to work. And Chester County will fully enclose the exercise yards that Danilo Cavalcante recently escaped from.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Welcome to Bob's.
Is this Blake dining set real wood?
Yes, in 3 classic finishes.
And?
It comes with 6 chairs or 4 and storage bench.
And?
You can get it in dining or counter heights.
And?
It's rated 5 stars.
And?
It's $5.99 no matter what you choose.
And?
We can have it in your home by Sunday dinner.
Oh my Bob.
When you don't have to compromise on style, quality, or price, there's only one thing to say.
Oh my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
With the cooler weather, especially in the early mornings, it makes me think I got to get the house ready for winter. And that makes me think about my friends from Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding. I love all the work, beautiful work they've done in my home. The patio doors, replacing the windows. It looks beautiful. You can take a virtual tour, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. and look at everything that might be available. The Nana Wall product, gorgeous wall of glass doors and windows. It just brings open a room. Premium architecture shutters designed to last a lifetime. Historically accurate with that lifetime warranty. These are just some of the special, unique differences that I'm talking about, raving about with the Chapman family team. Always meticulous work, outstanding service, high-quality products installed by high-quality people. Mike and Mark Chapman, they started this business nearly 30 years ago. They've hired great people as their family has grown, their business has grown. I count on them. You can too. 610-431-8898. You can text, you can call 610-431-8898. ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, Kayal, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Kayal Company, 9:52. Welcome back in. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show and who on Twitter today. Coming up in just a moment. But it is that time again each and every morning at or about 9:50. We give you the keyword of the day all month long for September. And you take that keyword, you go to 1210WPHT.com, enter it for your chance to win a free trip to Walt Disney World. And the keyword today is fun, F-U-N.
Fun.
As in we have fun on this show, and it must be fun being Zelensky and having a sugar daddy like Joe Biden. F-U-N, keyword fun. Take that to 1210WPHT.com. All right, the Dawn Show's coming up in 10 minutes, and we find out what's on tap at the top of the hour.
Yeah, the fun part is, first of all, Jimmy Fallon, 10:05. I love him. So a friend to all of us here, and I can't wait. Jimmy Fallon is going to join us in the first hour. By the way, there is breaking news this morning. Fox's Rupert Murdoch just announced that he's transitioning.
Oh, no.
To a girl.
No, from his roles as chair of Fox Corp to executive chairman. And so now he has a new title as chairman emeritus.
So the kid's going to be calling the shots, basically.
Hey, Dad, we'll call you chairman emeritus.
Okay.
But he says that for his entire professional life, he's been engaged daily with ideas, with news. He says that's not going to change. He's 92 years young. His sons have wanted to take over that headline today.
Okay. He's a lot like Vince McMahon, where like he can't really leave. The kids are in line to take it over, but it just never really officially happens.
That's gonna be like me with this radio station. I'm gonna be 93.
I'm still the executive producer.
Still doing morning drive. I'm morning drive here. I'm the young whippersnapper on this radio station.
Greg Stocker officially just takes over as brand manager only, relinquishes creative control of mornings.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
All right. Anything else on the tap for the show today, Dawn?
There's so much developing, and we're going to cover it all. We have some live news conferences in the city.
Okay.
I know that we have some announcements coming up in the senatorial race. There's a whole lot going on today. So
all right,
we'll
Dawn Show coming up 6 minutes from now as we wrap it up with who won Twitter today?
Who won Twitter?
Hasn't been sober wins Twitter. They were saying sharks were the key to beat cancer. Now bats. Can we get a bat shark, please?
A bat shark.
I like that.
Yeah.
We just combine the two.
All right,
Bat
there was
shark.
actually an episode of Batman.
It's
with
true.
The bat shark.
It's absolutely true.
Remember Adam West sprays the shark with the spray?
Yeah.
The bat spray?
Yeah, it's funny because it's both.
Exactly right.
It's both a bat and a shark.
Because it's bigger than your average bat.
You
know what I'm saying?
All right.
All right, that'll
drunk.
do it
We need
for
to get
us.
out of here.
Yeah, it's time to go. Hopefully you guys learned something today. Probably not, but the Dawn Show's coming up next. That will be informative.
It will.
And she's got you at 10. We're back tomorrow morning at 6. And until then,
I'll see you tomorrow. Come talk to me.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano inviting you to join me in